steel. Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Adequate. Our ongoing mission to review every episode and movie of Star Trek in existence. To seek out new guests and make them very uncomfortable. To boldly go where many other Star Trek-based YouTube shows have gone before. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Treks and Trekkers worldwide, and welcome to a live episode of Trekking Up North with not just me for once. I have got two beautiful men and Synoiz with me today.
I count as two.
He counts as two.
I'm of
He's
course
twice the man you are, Goodwill.
Oh, I mean, he is so unbelievably beautiful, but we'll get to him in a minute. I am, of course, Captain Goodwill of the USS Adequate, and joining me, as ever, for the first time in what feels like 7 years, is the delectable Geesian from the planet Hawk. It's Science Officer Synoiz, and we have a very special guest this week. This dude was there right at the beginning of Trekking Up North, that's now been deleted, but he was there. He was championing us from the very beginning. He was like, who the hell are these assholes? Oh, well, like.
I love how I got a British, an English American Alabama accent.
Yeah. We're just chucking stereotypes.
We're just throwing everything at you. We just want to be cancelled so we can go to bed. It is Jodo from Captain Quadrant, everybody. Hey! How are you?
Permission to come on board.
Always granted.
I won't tell you where. No, it is so good to be back.
Not the face. Chest at least, please. Joe.
Aim for the tits, Hawkeye.
Gentlemen, it is so good to be back with the both of you. It has been a while. There has been a lot of things that have happened in the world of Trek. There's a lot of things that happened in the world of sci-fi, and there's been even more in my personal life, and we're going to get into all of it, starting with my allergies. I don't know why, but my eye is so swollen.
Well, we've lost Joe.
He's communication there right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
45 minutes in.
How is it on the other side of the pond?
It is terrible.
Oh, okay.
Everything is also on fire, so it's very similar to how it is over yours. But yeah, we have a spineless person rather than a lunatic running the show. So,
and yeah, and a pint costs £7.50. This is a strange reason. For those that don't know, Joe is one of the hosts of Captain's Quadrant on YouTube. He has been here from day dot. He was the first person to invite me as a guest on the Agony booth.
Yeah,
it's always nice. So it's like, hey, you doing great? Come and watch Haven.
Yeah, that's right.
Is this some sort of like hazing ritual? Like you must go through the gong of Mr. Hom in order to be initiated into the Captain's Quadrant? But
he was so into that gong too.
I loved that gong so much. But no, he is the host, one of the hosts of Captain's Quadrant, along with Jason Roy Gaston.
Yes, the more famous of the two of us.
Oh, come on. No.
It's true, man. He's got millions of followers. I've got hundreds.
No, your followers are in person in the bush outside your home. You just don't see them.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, exactly. But please, guys, if you are watching this, first and foremost, you have to go follow the Captain's Quadrant. They are just so goddamn good. They are so goddamn, and they are so funny. And it's very rare that you find a trekking podcast that is actually funny. Lord knows we've been trying for 3 years.
We haven't succeeded yet, though.
Eventually, we'll get there. We just won't be cancelled. But no, it is absolutely wonderful to have you here, and it's absolutely amazing that we get to review one of my most deeply favourite episodes of Star Trek in existence, Vox. Now, I have a question for you both about this episode.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the episode name?
Vox.
Right.
Well,
But it's
the
got that
problem
really
is that
funny
the-
awe.
Well, the Borg Queen says it as Vox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
that's what
the
fucked it
problem
up.
is it does have the. I think it might be that
Geeks.
symbol is in the original Latin, and that's how they pronounced it. Whereas, obviously, in Latin, if you didn't have the symbol over it, it would be a different sound. I'm not sure.
I'm not
'Cause obviously
sure.
In
Can you imagine
German,
it
there's
was
loads
like,
of words where the umlaut
Yeah.
makes
There's like a-
it sound like the English version.
Yeah.
But-
It's really weird because every font in Star Trek, you can't have that symbol. Like, even on Paramount Plus, they can't use that
Yeah,
symbol. So the
there's
episode
no-
name is, I can't use it for the L cards for the promotion. So it's just like, it's Vox. And it's just like, what is it, a Vox Populi? Are we going out into the street and asking people what do they think of Jack Crusher? I don't know. But holy crap, guys. Holy crap. I've seen this episode loads of times and I rewatched it
Right.
again today. And this was Star Trek at its peak, man. This is new Star Trek at its peak. And this episode, it was so good for the brain because we started to get so many answers to series-long questions. But we did get a disappointment. We did get a disappointment in this episode because we found out that the reveal of the
Well,
big bad.
How about this for you, Joe? When you were watching the show, what did you think the big bad was going to be? Like, where was your?
Well, this
thought
has
taken?
become a staple of the Captain's Quadrant, actually, because it is within this series and within this mystery box that we have come to the realization of how wrong our co-host and matriarch Jason Roy Gaston was during this whole thing, because he was like,
yes, I remember.
yes, and he kept saying, it's the butt bugs.
It's the
This
butt
is the origination of the butt bugs. He kept saying, it's going to be the conspiracy bugs. They said they were coming back. Terry Metalis loves the originals TNG. That's what he grew up on. It's going to be the butt. Like, he was all in. Like, if it was gambling, he would be like, my house, my car, and my children on butt bugs. And he was wrong. So we got to go, when that came.
My chest fell down.
This reminds us that with our show, this is where the Keiko O'Brien conspiracy started.
Oh God, the lore
remember
we
that
had.
we had a poll.
I
where
remember
we
that.
went,
I remember that, yeah.
Hey, who do we reckon it is? And we were like, is it the Par Wraiths? Is it the Borg? Is it like this? Is it something else? Or is it Keiko O'Brien? And naturally, Keiko O'Brien won and became part of the Trekking Up North lore. Like, and it's. Yeah, and there's something wonderful about how good the series was that it made us all talk amongst ourselves. Like getting it episodically, it made us all go, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Well, what about this? What about this? And that's what's amazing about a show. And we lose that when we have stuff like Stranger Things that gets dropped on one day and you're like, oh, well, I saw everything now, so there's no real need to talk about stuff.
It was.
Well, they split that up actually because we're supposed to get everything at once, and they split up 4, 4, and 1, and then you have
Yeah.
in America they were like, "We're gonna squeeze your dollar. Everything is
Netflix.
$9 million, so we're gonna ask you for $9 million and $12 to go to the movie theater and watch the last episode before it comes on Netflix."
Look, Netflix can no longer plead poverty in any situation now.
Hell
You
no.
are
I want my-
trying. Yeah, go on.
I want my 3rd series of fucking Mindhunter Netflix. That's what I don't want to hear. Oh, it's too
Bring
expensive.
it back.
Fuck you,
Oh,
dude.
we don't
you
have any
have-
money. Yes, you do.
You have
Yeah,
12 million square foot of studio space. Get using it
Yeah,
and give
exactly.
the people what they want. You are selling out studios. You are renting them out for birthdays and weddings. I'm sorry. Mindhunter season 3. Give me more Gilmore Girls, damn you.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
there you
mean?
go. Everybody wants something. You know, it's not just
And
me.
it's, yeah, and well, I mean, speaking of Netflix, we did have the breaking news yesterday that worldwide, as of January the 8th, Star
more
Trek
Trek
will
for you guys.
no more Trek on Netflix. And also, we've also found out that with Prodigy leaving Netflix, it will be completely and utterly inaccessible legally.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I forgot about
Did it
that.
not get a DVD or Blu-ray release?
We've
or
got
anything?
physical copies,
Cool.
but what I mean is like
At
in
least it's
terms
still
of
protected, you know.
yeah, in terms
They're
of
all
streaming.
sold out in America because there's
Oh,
no place
really?
that sells DVDs anymore. We don't have any business that sells DVDs.
Wow, that is like.
We have charity shops.
But it's-
Well, that's the
but
only way to
it's-
get it at the secondhand shop.
Well, I mean, this is like really. You think this is like a really good series, and because
Yeah.
of licensing and everything like that, it has become the most inaccessible Star Trek now, unless you go out and buy the complete box set. And this just shows like the way that streaming is going, because it's like an expansion and contraction, because it was the same with cable. Cable expanded, became far too big, far too many subscriptions, far too many plans, and then the introduction of streaming, where everything was consolidated into like Netflix and Hulu, and then that itself has also massively expanded again. But the problem with that is with streaming, the licenses, because you don't own anything. Everything is like, hey, you can be on this platform for 12 months, but after that it goes. I tried to watch Parks and Recreation last week because I thought I want a nice. Everyone's got that TV show where it's just like it's constantly positive and it's good for your brain, and Star Trek's one of them, but Parks and Rec is the same thing. And I tried to go on every single streaming service to try and find it, and you have to rent it. Get it. Where?
You have to get it on Peacock, or as we say in America, P-penis.
P-penis.
But in the UK, Peacock is on Now TV, and it's not there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, we have some of the same channels, but they have different things available on them.
That sucks, man.
Again, so can you still use VPNs to get around it though? And see selection?
Ever since this guy came in the first time, this time in January, they rearranged the way VPNs. They can figure you out, so VPNs won't be your save all anymore.
That's when I tried to watch when I was working in California in March, April. We tried to use a VPN and just did not work at all, which was a shame, because obviously, like, hey, we're going to sit and watch Netflix, and we're going to nope, can't do that because half the stuff is gone and it's on Hulu, it's on this, and whereas over here, like, everything is more, it's a little bit more consolidated than America. But even then, like, trying to watch Parks and Rec, it was like, oh, you can rent this episode for $3.99, and I'm like, I'm not going to rent like 8 episodes and then never like see them. It's a waste of money. And it's insane. And then you look at stuff like Prodigy, where as of January, it's completely inaccessible on all streaming services. So unless you've got a physical copy, you are screwed. I mean, I say screwed because obviously people are watching, but you know.
Wink, wink,
it's torrenting down in rain, but like in legitimate ways.
It's almost like we should just get rid of the streaming services and buy the physical media again.
It's almost like we should put on a patch and go, yar, matey, and then get it that
way to get through these words, and that's through the watchings of one eye watching.
Is Netflix half price if you only have one eye? Is that how it works?
No, because there might be somebody with 2 eyes, and then now it's
what if someone has like 4 eyes? Do you pay more than me? Goodwill, because you've got glasses on.
Are you calling me a 4-eye?
Yes.
Do you want to get cancelled?
Go on then. Go on.
But enough about Berlin.
Are they like?
I can get us cancelled. Go on.
Oh, are they handcuffing your screen share?
Oh yeah. You can't pass through it.
Yeah, and then that's right. One of the things I love being on your show is because I get to see what's going on in the rest of the world. Because Portugal's very different from where you guys are too. It's bizarre.
Put it this way: if you want to watch a gentleman's special interest media, you can't. Without submitting a photo of yourself, probably in the act, looking sad and regretful, as well as your driving license, passport, blood type, and favorite football team. They
wanted to do that here, but now it's just you got to click the. Are you 18? Yes, or are you 18? No.
Hey, they do it in some states. I believe they do it in Florida, where you have to prove your identity.
Utah, you have to upload your.
Definitely Utah. I mean, come on,
Utah.
definitely Utah.
But no bestiality porn. So.
But enough about Utah.
It's really funny because Joe messaged me, guys. Joe messaged me a little earlier on. He was like, "Hey, can I curse on your stream?" And I'm like, "Have you seen us?" There's a reason I have a 2-minute intro to get around the algorithm.
the trick is trying to do it before we do it.
I don't know. I came aboard, so that's for sure the way to start it all.
But no, guys, we are here. Like I said, we are here. We are here to review Vox. We are here to review Vox, and like I said, with the revelation of the big bad in Star Trek, I think there was an element of disappointment collectively from a load of fans to go, oh, come on. Like, you've done the Borg in 2 seasons now already.
Well, there was an entire film about the plot of, oh, he used to be Borg and now he's getting over it. And, oh, okay, that's done now. Like, that's the whole point of First Contact. And
Yes.
then they just go, oh, well, all of that resolution didn't mean anything. Because it's still around, and you're like, really? There's so much other stuff you could have played with.
Yeah, and it was
I don't
also hello
define
to everybody in the
Picard by
chat.
the Borg.
Hello to everybody in the chat. I would be remiss. We've got the lovely Leela. We've got Donut Cherry. I know who you are. We got Peaches. I'm waiting for the Shed to make his appearance because we always love David when he comes in.
Oh, we've got Beth. Yep. Oh my
Hey,
god.
Beth.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello,
But
everyone.
yeah.
It was painful to go a Borg again because like
yeah.
Picard supposedly destroyed the Borg by killing the Borg Queen, and then
Again.
and then Voyager destroyed the Borg by killing the Borg Queen again,
Yeah.
and apparently it only hurt her. You've only hurt her feelings, and she's just kind of droopy and messy, and
That
she's
was
coming
Janeway.
for revenge.
Yeah,
the Janeway.
Like,
that was
Janeway's like, Picard, you just destroyed the cube. I maimed her. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
That's how I do. Yeah, drink the coffee. I too fixed her.
Isn't the thing though that this, because obviously there's multiple Borg queens because it can clone one. So when the Borg queen dies, her consciousness is still stored, so they can clone another one and basically, like reinstall her. But this queen here is the one from First Contact, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it
that's...
basically says this is the remnants of after that film where it goes, hey, they weren't totally destroyed, but she's messed up,
And was it that, or was it the Voyager one?
I thought so.
Because
the Voyager
Borg
won't be
Queen
too far away.
No, because there's a
the Borg-
transwarp conduit.
Yeah, transwarp. That's why she ended up in Jupiter's hole.
Yeah, they used they
all
had a
about,
conduit within Jupiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does the chat think? What do we think it was? And what
I
does
don't
the
think that
chat
was
think?
actually. I don't think that was actually explained. But obviously, with the Borg, they go, "You think in such 3-dimensional terms or 4-dimensional terms."
That's
So-
like God works in mysterious ways, though. That's like the sci-fi equivalent of a wizard did it.
I mean, I was disappointed with it, but again, the way that they sort of went, "Hey, you know how Picard had Irremotic syndrome? Yeah, that was a side effect of this," and then they
that was pretty cool.
planted this 35 years ago. Again, I'm still against Ed Spieler being 21 at the time. Come on, he's the same age as me.
I mean, we're jumping ahead a fair bit, okay? But like, there is a thing where it kind of goes, okay, so the Borg changes like only affect young people, so people like under 25 kind of thing. But then it's like, but he's able to control people who are any age. Like the guards that are in this episode,
they were
well over 30.
They were,
they're all under
Look at them
25.
and you're like, that guard.
I mean,
is
on their
14.
IDs, that's what it says.
Yeah.
In
I mean,
Star Trek, they're all 21.
That
They've had
guard
space
does not get
Botox.
ID'd at a bar,
Yeah.
Space Botox is fantastic. Like,
No, but that would make them look younger. The whole point is that the guards look really old. The guards look like they're in their 40s.
I blame gravity. Yeah,
And I'm
gravity.
like, couldn't you have at least done the little nuance of going, make sure that they're really young? So it's like, afterwards you're like, oh, that's why. But it does seem a bit like, it seems like a missed thing. Because, when you see pictures of them, you're like, those are not under 25. Like, no.
I think it's a stretch because obviously you can't control Crusher and you can't. Oh, I mean, you won't be able to control Picard because he's a.
Can't
he's
even
a
make her
Gorn.
do her job properly. I mean,
Oh. Still on with this, aren't you? You're still on. If there's a candle about, though, she's.
Oh, I've got so much, but we'll get into it.
Wasn't there a candle somewhere on this one?
Possibly.
I don't think
There's
we
always a
visually
candle.
see it.
It
but
was
her
the flame
facial
from the
expressions-
keyhole of the red door.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Geordie recreated the Enterprise and he even put the candle in her quarters. Just for that added touch. But I saw a meme about her today.
It was with like a stone and come on, come back.
I saw a meme about her today. It was Crusher in A Christmas Carol, where they're like, "You'll be visited by 3 ghosts,"
that
and she's
one.
like, "At the same time."
Yeah. Classic.
But I mean, the revelation at the beginning that it is the Borg. I mean, this is just the cold open, but the revelation that it is the Borg, it did spoil it a little bit. because it's like we all had our different theories, and the way that it was all like gearing, it was like Jem'Hadar, the Dominion, the Changelings, and is it the Paraths? Is it this? And you just go back to that.
The Borg.
I just it
The line
did
must be
spoil
drawn
it.
here.
Yeah, exactly. This far, no further.
Yeah, well, apparently we're further, Picard.
For a further 20 years. But it spoiled it a little bit, but otherwise, like I said, this is such a good episode, and it's good mind candy because you get answer after answer after answer, and it's just so good. And watching it, I think it's one of my best episodes of New Trek. I mean, obviously, there's those old scientists and stuff like that, and Ad Astra per Aspera, but this is up there with one of those episodes because this, for me, should have been a two-parter with The Last Generation. It should have been like a 2-hour episode. It was just absolutely brilliant. But I say that, you see that scene with the Enterprise leaving as well. That's a good cliffhanger to end on with that score and everything like that. But
yeah, when they unleashed the D, everybody was satisfied.
We're all big fans of the D.
Yes.
But we just got so many things in this. You know, we got Elizabeth Shelby.
Yeah. And she got killed.
I know.
Quite brutally.
Quite brutal. And
what are you doing, kids?
Yeah.
And a few fans of Best of Both Worlds go, how's your career now?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because she was not Admiral. I believe she was Fleet Admiral, because like they call her
up there.
Yeah, they called her Admiral, but she had like 8 pips or something on her chest, and it was like she's. And it was sorted. It's a nice little touch because I think we were talking about it at SELV last year, and they did say she was a Fleet Admiral, and it was just basically saying, look, this is 35 years later. She is literally at the top of the totem pole when it comes to career progression. She is the Fleet Admiral. She's commanding the entire Starfleet force on this frontier day. She's got the Enterprise F and stuff like that, and you're thinking, damn, she was ambitious and she really did push it. And I was just, because I've just recently I've done a load of edits for our YouTube shorts, and a load of them we go on about complacency and stuff like that, about Riker and comparing him to Shelby and stuff like that, and it's like, damn, like she did not stop until she was right at the top.
But don't you think, though, that there's an important lesson here of the fact if she doesn't stop and she gets absolutely no time to enjoy it, she gets right to the top here, and this is her crowning moment. And she dies purely because
shot down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, purely because she was too busy, like focusing on, like, you know, her career and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas Riker has enjoyed his life. He's, you know, he's got married. Children. He's had like kids. He's done several kids, and it's very much the kind of, oh, okay, yeah, you can progress really far if you put everything into your career.
If you sacrifice your life, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a lesson there, I think, for Shelby, because she was like, remember the episode with Riker? She was telling him, "I'm going to have your job," you know.
Yeah. She can't learn it, but I mean, it's not the only death in the episode, but we'll get to that. But it's just the revelations of Jack having this like biological Borg DNA and having it answer why Picard could still hear the Borg's voices after he was like disassimilated in the Best of Both Worlds, and also answers like why he can hear them in First Contact, you know, before he gets to the battle. You know, I can hear them despite having nothing in him.
Right.
And it's that nice little touch to say that's why I could hear their voices. That's why I could. And it's they actually covered that bit. They actually did that bit. And then for Jack to just go and just like leave and go find the Queen and stuff like that. I feel they could have done a lot more to stop him.
Well, the main point, my main point about this episode is I think the theme of this episode is failure.
Yes.
Because everybody fails every character fails in this episode. Like we literally have Troy failing as a counselor at the beginning, where she's kind of going, she literally says like sort of like, I promise whatever we find there, you won't be alone. And
Yeah.
then as soon as she
then
opens
she
the
finds it.
door,
Oh fuck, you're alone.
yeah, she abandons him and just locks him in his room, and you're just like going, okay, like I don't know if you've ever had it, but I've had a therapist before who basically stopped me and went, "Oh, I can't deal with this right now. We'll have to put you back on the waiting list." And you're like going, "What?" Like
Wow.
that's not helpful at all. Like
Damn,
that, and it proper affected me at the time because you were just like going, "Oh, wow, but this is meant to be the thing that helps me, and now you're telling me I have to go back in the system because you can't deal with this or you're not trained." And it was a proper shock, and that's what it feels like. It feels like she does the worst thing you could possibly do as a counselor, because even if she was totally shocked by it, she should have the professionalism to mask it and go, "Okay, that's cool, well, let's get through the rest of the session, and afterwards I'm going to go to Picard and we'll," but she doesn't. She abandons him, and then obviously we find out that we kind of go, "Oh, look, Picard, you had all this stuff in your DNA, and we just missed it the first time. Who did the medical scans?" "Oh, it's Crusher."
Hi,
"Oh, okay,
Bev.
no wonder everyone missed it, and it was never logged, because
Oh no.
she's terrible at her job." And then we've got Picard failing as a father by, like, effectively causing that scene that makes Jack run off. Like, everything is in it. All of the main characters had it in their hands to stop the situation happening, where they could have kept Jack there until after, what's it called?
Except-
Frontier Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except
Yeah,
war.
after
All he
Frontier
had to do
Day
was stab him.
and stuff, because it doesn't even suggest that there's a prerogative in him. If it was like him going, "Look, I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to find out, I'm being called by the Borg Queen or something," but it doesn't hint at any of that. It hints that like everyone else fails him, and so he runs off thinking that he can get his own answers. And then obviously we've got Shelby being like, "Hey, I know, let's let AI control the entire fleet. That's not going to be a terrible decision." And then
Have you
what happens?
never seen Battlestar
5 seconds later.
Galactica? Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute later.
1 minute before she's on the floor dead.
Hey,
And then
Shelby,
again, then
ever
it
heard of the
cuts to shot
Cylons?
of her getting shot.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things they could have done if this was classic Star Trek. There's a lot of things they could. He runs to a shuttle. Not one person locks the shuttle doors.
Yeah.
That's what bugged me. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, someone's powering up a shuttle in the bay. Oh, who is it? It's Jack, the one with all the Borg inside him. Ooh, better lock those doors. Everyone's like, bye.
Well, are they all Borg drones at that point though?
No, that's the thing.
No.
Like, that the
He
bridge
would
would
be
be
able to control them, but he'd be able to control them, but like it would be far more difficult. Like it should have been a bigger scene of him fighting to get to
Yes.
escape,
Yeah.
and showing how he can't be stopped, like showing how he's just
like he can
completely control
communicate
of
with
the guy.
someone. Yeah, he can communicate
Yeah.
with someone on the bridge on deck 11 to go like he's trying to power up the shuttle and someone goes, "Oh, Captain, shuttle's trying to leave. Who is it? It's Jack Crusher. Lock the doors." And then he's like trying to leave. He sees the doors lock, and then he like controls this person on the bridge who releases the doors. And it would have
right
been
now it's like, Beverly, you could run around those two guards. You could run around those two guards and get to him. He's not
Yeah.
going to shoot you. But I think the problem is that it's a really good episode, but it does have a lot of this happens because the plot needs to happen.
yes.
Because if he hadn't have gotten away, nothing would have happened this episode. All of the problems are caused by the failure of Troy, Picard, Crusher to an extent, and it's
Yeah.
What do you think? Again, like the whole idea of Frontier Day is so monumentally stupid to move the entire fleet into one place, leaving an entire federation unprotected. And
Yeah.
only Geordie complained about it.
But you get the impression, though, that there might be a lot of changelings in places higher up being like, "What a great idea. Hey, I've got this great idea. Like we should have a thing called Frontier Day." And all the admirals who are way too far away from the actual ground just
Yeah.
go like, Yeah, yeah, we should celebrate that. Yeah, cool, cool.
Let's
What
take
we'll do,
hundreds
we
of
won't
ships
oversee
away.
anything.
Yeah,
like,
let's have DS9. Let's just bring the station over here. Why not?
Yeah.
I think, though, to tie back to your previous point, though, I think that's the biggest frustration about the Borg being the villains, that the changelings had so much more potential. Like, the changelings are the plot. Like, it's just the whole thing is like the changelings did everything for the transporters. They're the ones who, got everything in. I'm suggesting that they suggested the idea of Frontier Day, and yet they're just tools by a Borg queen who has no power. All of it just, it feels like it would have been far better if the changelings were the real villain and they'd actually found a way to make the Borg their servants. So they got a queen and made it into a lapdog in order for them to control all of this network and stuff. But it was the changelings going, yeah, we've actually made biological Borg technology. We've got a hijacked queen that we control, and we're planning this big thing in order to destroy the solids. Like, that would have felt better because it would have gone, hey, the Borg plot is tied up, but they can still be there in terms of their technology and, appearance.
But the reason why they didn't do that is because that is a specific villain for Deep Space Nine, and only Worf is Deep Space Nine. So you've got the whole other crew, and they'd be like, "What's a changeling?" You know what I mean? It would be kind of like that.
But that would be fun, though. We liked the idea of
fun.
going, hang on, we've got Picard mentioning the Dominion. Like, that's part of what made season 3 great,
Because this was the thing, Joe, with season 3, and I don't know if you agree with this, but it wasn't just the Next Generation. Season 3 did what they wanted to do in the early 2000s and bring all three of the Next Gen era series together and unite. It's like an Avengers type, where
cola.
It's got the finest cola in the galaxy, but
the slimiest cola in the galaxy.
Well, I know a few more. I know a few things are a little bit more slimier, but we're not going to get into that. Wink. But we but. The original pitch I believe it was after Nemesis, the next movie was going to be like an Avengers type thing where you had Voyager back, you had DS9 back, you had the Next Generation, all uniting for this threat. And this is sort of what Picard was doing. And I sort of take season 3 Picard of not... it is a continuation of the Next Generation, but it's also a continuation of everything else in that era. It's sort of...
Right, because they wrap up...
Yeah.
They wrap up two Vics, or excuse me, not two Vics.
Oh, she wrapped him up into an airlock.
She sure did. Yeah. No, but
Seven.
Tuvok.
Oh, Tuvok. Yeah. Tuvok 7 and 9. Yeah. And it's like you could have
going to wrap up Harry Kim.
Yeah, apparently he was captain as well. They just never got into it.
That's the biggest thing ever.
And then they apparently cut that out. Apparently they might have even filmed it. And
I haven't heard that they filmed it. What I heard was it was in the original script that we would have seen a Captain Kim. Which, to be honest, guys, I'm sorry, he should have been Fleet Admiral. Move alongside Shelby. 7 years at an ensign. Give him the keys to the garage. All right, he just let him do it.
This guy's got a clarinet. Like, come on.
He's got a life.
Oh, sorry, wrong side of my show.
That Kim's got a second pip. But
just imagine Harry Kim just playing some jizz in the cantina.
Jazz.
No, it is canonically Jizz Goodwill. I just love that George Lucas was just like going, what? There's nothing wrong with that name for a musical style. Everyone loves jizz.
Wait, so does that mean our president is playing jizz hands every time he dances?
No, he's recreating a certain photo. But that's us never getting into the States now. That's it. We're done. They'll see this recording and go, nope.
But one of the other pressing issues, I understand what you're saying, that they're trying to like bringing the band together in an ultimate way. But it's so minuscule the amount of people that they were able to get to do that. Like DS9 was only Worf, and Worf was TNG.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's not like we got Armin Shimmerman coming back. If he was
They
the
tried. Like I think the problem is they put enough stuff in there, but I think Picard was very much kind of like this is next generation. But
Yeah.
they brought things in like the changelings. We get to see a picture of Odo in one of the earlier episodes. We get
Right.
like Sluggo Cola, and I think you wonder if maybe it was meant to be Quark that they meet in one of the earlier episodes, but it's just another Ferengi. But then I think the thing is, I think if it was going to be Quark, they could have got Armin Shimmerman. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he would have been like, yeah, cool, I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it
goal-
suggests that they didn't ask him.
The goal of season 3 and subsequently Legacy, which should have followed as far as I'm concerned, but it was supposed to be, this is a send off for the next generation, but
Right.
it's the recognition that there is a whole world around the next generation. So there is obviously the Dominion. There is obviously the Ferengi and DS9 and everything like that, and Voyager and stuff like that. And it's like it's to show that they, yes, this is the crew of the next generation, but they still exist in this world that we all know and all love. And all these people are still here. All these people still exist and are still doing things, as we see with Lower Decks when they go to DS9. And it's like, yeah, of course Kira's running the station. Of course she is. Of course there's still a Quark's bar. Of course Grand Nagus Rom is running Ferengi. What do you think, that these people stop existing? And I think that was what Metalis wanted to do, and to be honest with you, still wants to do with Legacy. And he wants to go, hey, people my age and who grew up in the golden era, this is what they want. They want a continuation of this era, and they just want us to just live in this world, because for a lot of people that is their Star Trek and that is what they know and love. And I think, all things aside with Paramount, which we won't get into because obviously we need to go to America, but the powers that be that are running it are Trekkies. And I think, and this is a theory that I have, that, and I was telling Synoiz about this the other day. Kurtzman's contract is up in 27.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
And as well as that,
unceremoniously next year.
well, this is the thing. As well as that, there is also a lot of other people whose contracts are up in 27. Right now, my theory is that basically Discovery was cancelled at season 5. He was unceremoniously cancelled at season 5 because, again, Paramount looked at it and went, well, if we continue this, we'll have to pay residuals. Is it a success? Not as much as we thought. Right, season 5, that's it.
Meanwhile, that season actually had the highest ratings in all Star Trek per stream.
Exactly. But
So
it's the season 5 golden rule. But then it's a case of, oh, hang on, we've actually got these contracts until 2027. What do we do with all these people associated with Discovery? Starfleet Academy's been greenlit, but Starfleet Academy was greenlit with the writers, the crew, and actors of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Then, even before the first trailer is aired, the greenlit for season 2. Now, season 2 is also due to end in 2027.
Right.
So my theory is that they go until 2027. The new leaders of Paramount Skydance, who, the son is a Trekkie, I believe it's going to be, they're going to wipe the slate. They're going to end the Kurtzman, that Kurtzman era. We know Strange New Worlds is ending anyway, but they're going to wipe the slate with the Kurtzman era, and then they're going to start bringing in the stuff that they know is going to print them money. That
then I got something to share for you.
And then, because what we have found out recently is that so Hero Within, who make the amazing Star Trek jackets, like the Enterprise jacket, the Picard jackets, and everything. Paramount wanted way too much for their license, so they didn't renew it. So Hero Within are gone. The Star Trek store, they have pulled all their licenses with their t-shirt and accessories manufacturers, so they are not going to get made. Now, the only way you would do that is either A, you are reducing the output of merchandise for the franchise and sort of going, this is not working, we're not making enough money, so we're just going to scutter it, or you're really going to double down with new merchandise from new vendors or do it yourself. And I think what's happening is we're going to see in the next 2 years, regardless of any politics or anything like that, I think Paramount and the new leaders are going to look at this and go, we can make this like Star Wars. We can make this print money. And I think for the longest time, the issue that Paramount has had is their inability to know how to run a franchise like Star Trek. Whereas you look at Disney under Luke, you look at Star Wars under Lucas, you look at Star Wars under Disney, they knew what they were doing in terms of merchandising, in terms of marketing and everything like that. Paramount never did with Star Trek. Even when we went to the Section 31 premiere, and it's like there was no press packet, there was absolutely zilch in terms of merchandise or anything like that to spread the word. I literally got a napkin.
I think you had to steal that.
That's it. And I had to steal that napkin. And it was literally just a blue napkin with a sticker saying Section 31 on it. There was no... Whereas when they used to do it for the premiere of Strange New Worlds and Picard and everything like that, you go to Los Angeles, you would get a bag of collectibles, nothing. Because they just... The people up in Paramount didn't know what to do.
Though, like, I don't know about you guys, but like I've kind of just got optimism fatigue with a lot of this because we've been doing this a lot on this podcast of going, oh, it's going to be great and they're going to turn things around and Legacy is going to come and it's going to fix things.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am very much kind of going, I don't know if they will get better. I mean, I'd love to think that they are going to go, hey, we're going to actually use our licenses properly. We're going to give people the merch they want. We're going to give people the shows they want and stuff. We've just got to wait till Kurtzman gets out the door. But at the same time, they could have saved themselves a fortune with like a Starfleet Academy by just paying them, because if they're in contract, they don't need to be doing stuff, right?
There you go.
Like,
that's what I wanted to hear. In contract. Yeah. Here's what happened.
Yeah, just go, can you,
guys...
even if you can't end the contract, you just go, well, yeah, we just pay him what we said we pay him and just have him doing nothing. That's cheaper than spending millions on a show. But anyway, sorry, Joe.
Yeah, so here's what happened. Yeah, here's all the juicy goss. Paramount's office is only a few blocks away from my office. And my cousin happened to work for Paramount, which I didn't know because we just recently met up. And they laid off a fuck ton of people.
Yes, they did, yes.
Yeah, they laid off, I think, 20% of the company. My neighbor also Paramount.
Wasn't it like 10,000 staff worldwide or something like that?
Yeah,
it was something
20%
like that.
of the entire company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because on paper, they're building the new Paramount Studios here, not too far from where I live, and I will be applying. But so the
I've
new
tried.
Yeah, the new Paramount Studios is going to be right down the road. But the in the rumor mills is they're buying out contracts to kind of clear the slate. But as far as the IP of Star Trek goes, they don't want to kind of fall into the same wheel of reboot. They want to do something different. And from what I heard before the unceremonious firings or layoffs, depending on your perspective, that they want to do something in between the eras of TNG and TOS and not bring out Kirk, Spock, and such.
The Lost Era.
The Lost Era.
Yeah.
The Lost Era. So that's one rumor mill. The other rumor mill was they want to show the birth of the Federation before Kirk, Spock, and such, while Archer's still kind of running around.
Oh, United.
Yeah, that way they could kind of pull in, if they wanted to pull in Scott Bakula, but he would be perfect because he's older and he lived to be forever because he actually was there when they christened the Enterprise. Apparently,
yes, he was. Yeah.
So there is a possibility of they can fill in those gaps between those two eras. They can fill in the Archer TOS gap, and then they can fill in the TOS TNG gap. But the 100% is going to happen is they are purging what we know. They want to do something brave and bold and different. They're not going to do the reboot thing because, before there was the push for Legacy, there was there was mummerings of, hey, maybe they should reboot TNG like they did TOS. But that's kibosh. They're not doing any more reboot wheel. It's like enough. We're going to do fresh. They're going to both where no Trek has gone before.
Do you think that they have? Do you think that they have realised after nearly 10 years that listening to the fans can actually reap results? So, I mean, they've only done it once.
They'll
and
never
that was,
realise that.
And that, no, well, they only did it once with Strange New Worlds because there was a hell of a lot of push for a Pike series, and we got it, and it's insanely, like, you know, I would say it's very successful in terms of a Star Trek series. Do you think they're looking at it, and then obviously the new head has gone, as a Trekkie has gone, there's so many gaps within Star Trek that we can fill this, that instead of just, because I mean, the whole point of the jump to the 32nd century was that the writers felt that they were pigeonholed in a prequel and that they didn't have the creative freedom, everything like that. So they just did a time jump, and it just wasn't as popular as they thought it was. And then a whole set of new writers got into Strange New Worlds and went, here's how you do it right. Here's how you can seamlessly link things and have it and answer it in a way, like the whole fleet's Captain Pike and stuff like that. And do you know what I mean? Like how you can get around stuff like that, and just basically proving that it's not because you are pigeonholed that you are suffering. It's because you just cannot write the Star Trek that you want to write.
Well, it's because you don't want to write Star Trek. Like that's the guy,
exactly.
You know, everyone else, so many people are chomping at the bit to go, I want to write something in this universe, and I have the knowledge to fit it within that universe. And they're just like, no, let's not get them involved. Like, you know, let's not let them write it. Let's just hand it to someone.
But that was the whole point of the 90s.
Really know the property.
But that was the whole point in the 80s and 90s, where they accepted these scripts, these screenplays, and then they would look at it and then go, do you know what, that could, with a little bit of work, that could work. Yeah. Where they would essentially have these fans submitting these stories who are passionate about it and know the lore, the technology, and the universe that they are writing about. And with a little bit of work, that's how they would get them in. And then,
but the problem is now the legal precedent is there. That's how we have the Tom Paris, you know, the Lower Decks had to fix, because he just goes, oh wait, we didn't get the rights to him, so we can't actually use him. You know, it's
you know, he looks familiar. No, he doesn't. And it's like. But it's you know, and there is an untapped well between, obviously, the formation of the Federation and TOS. You've got 90 years there. You've also got 70 years between the end of the Undiscovered Country and the Next Generation, the Lost Area. You know, you've got the Cardassian War, you've got the Enterprise C, you've got the Enterprise B. You've got, you know, you can have so many things in those eras that sort of build up. Why, you know, were the how did they discover the Cardassians? How did they discover Bajor? How did they do this? How did they do that? And it's untapped, and you don't have to go 1,000 years into the future, where again you're still pigeonholing yourself, because it's like, we have to show Star Trek 1,000 years into the future. Okay, but they're still using LCD screens
and glasses.
She's allergic to Retnax 5, which after 1,000 years they
and speech
still
therapy.
haven't solved. Retnax 6 should exist.
But we haven't managed to sort of get Cockney out of the gene pool, which I'm quite worried about. You know, I'm just sitting there like, what? But anyway,
I just have a vision of Hackney, London, full of Jem'Hadars going, oi! Get out of here!
Oh, it makes me ill. It makes me ill hearing it, and I'm like, stop it.
Where's the water?
I might actually need to watch it in German just to get different voices. Like, just, you know, just to be like, I'm not hearing. I don't want to hear Cockney, although it's going to be a German version of a Cockney.
It's that thing. You suffer exactly what I suffer from. Why I stopped watching Doctor Who. As soon as I heard someone from Birmingham in a sci-fi episode, it took me so far out of it. I was in another solar system where it's like, you like Doctor, you got the TARDIS there. I'm just like, nope. No, I'm done. I can't do it. Nope, can't do this. Not believable. Sorry. Birmingham doesn't exist. It's fine.
What I want, like, because loads of people complain about Star Wars and Star Wars under Disney, okay? And the sequel trilogy, absolute mess. Several of the films, absolute mess. But then you look at the world building that they've done, and it's all the stuff where they've put enough effort in not to just have one project at a time. Like, here's Discovery. Okay, here's Strange New Worlds. Oh, here's Academy. Like, oh, and here's the cool stuff is the Prodigy that you just go, whoa, that little side thing that's actually really, really good. That's what we needed more from Paramount. We needed lots of little things happening
What about
rather
Scout?
than, pardon?
What about Scouts?
I can't wait to review that. I can't wait to review
looking
that.
forward to Scouts. I just love that we're going to have to review Starfleet Academy, and my expectations are not high, but I love that we're going to do Scouts afterwards and be like, yeah, this is pretty good. Quite enjoying this. Yeah.
What we got, Joe? We've got a plan for Scouts. We are convinced. We are going to no, that's Starfleet Academy. With Scouts, we are convinced that it's a key major character from the Next Gen era as a kid that is this is like J.R. Hansen from Wolf 359, but this is J.R. as a kid, right? And it's just like this is how he learned his tactics to fight the Borg, because he was shooting meatball asteroids out of the atmosphere. And it's just like we go into this like really we find the hidden dark message in each episode of Star Trek Scouts.
With Star Trek Scouts, I believe that the end of the series is going to end with Wolf 359, okay, and everyone getting like blasted apart and murdered or whatnot in the Borg invasion. But all in that animation,
just his like metallic arm floating in space.
But just imagine, just being like, okay, we didn't expect it to go that dark, but well done.
That's how the show
11,000 people have died. Send in the children, and there's just a floating arm.
Fire the meatballs. It's like it did nothing.
Start shooting meatballs at the cube. We've got nothing left.
But they throw meatballs. Imagine the meatballs work because it's water and they can't really get into water, and the whole Borg just is...
Imagine
this
that
whole
would be the
time we're gonna throw wet meatballs.
Oh my god! Oh, George just created an amazing theory for us.
Yeah.
What if the Borg are vulnerable to Swedish meatballs from IKEA because the Borg is a Swedish name?
Oh, look at that.
Their only vulnerability is Swedish meatballs. It's like, take that, Björk. And it's just absolutely...
IKEA would be the answer.
Like, they can't adapt to the gravy. It's absolutely fantastic.
These names don't make any sense. Why has a spatula got a woman's name?
Fire the flop and clop. And
everything made at IKEA just destroys the Borg.
Killing the Queen with a Billy bookcase. It'd be fantastic. I would love that.
Oh my god.
But to go back to my point, with Star Wars, they've done so many little split off shows. Like, like we have Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, like all these little things that like are really good world building, where it's helped flesh out the world, and it's kind of, and it's made Star Wars, the property, like still important, and it's kind of made it better. But then, even though the main movies are a bit of a, and I kind of want them to do that with Trek. Like, we did get short Treks, but they didn't really go out enough. Like,
they could have world built so much.
Yeah, we got lower decks for Trek that basically just went, hey, you remember that plot hole? We're going to clean that up, and we're going to go back here and stuff. There's so much more you can do with the Trek universe. Lower Decks was amazing, but all it did was show, look, there's so much potential here. There's so much that you can do with this property. And Paramount are like, let's ignore it all and go back to the past when nothing's like mentioned.
But I agree with Joe that, if those rumors are true, they are going back. Like, I feel that if they wipe the slate with all the Trek, say like, because will Starfleet Academy be the only active Trek show? It will, won't it?
No. Strange New World season 5 comes out next year for season 1 of Starfleet Academy.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Starfleet Academy season 2 and the last bits of season 5.
So yeah. So after
4 and then 5 and then season 2 of Starfleet Academy they'll be out, and then there's no more Trek.
Yeah. So
we do have the kids show. We do have Scouts.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, Scouts is
it's a limited.
Yeah,
very limited. What? It's not going to get a full 5-season arc.
No.
No.
What if that's the one?
Does?
What if that's the one that gets into a syndication? Paramount
Oh
goes,
my
you know what?
Oh
Actually,
God!
full
That would
7
be so funny.
seasons.
Can you imagine how upset people were? Like, Strange New Worlds ended with season 5, yet Scouts is on season 8.
Enterprise just rolling in its grave.
No, man.
The Enterprise rolled into a meatball.
Oh, there
but-
it is.
But I think, like, from 2027, if they wipe the slate clean and then they go, hey, let's have a show from the Lost Era, let's continue the Next Generation, let's do... If they handle that right, I mean, I know they want a movie as well, and they want an original movie. Again, it's pie in the
Section
sky.
31 not enough?
Section 31 was not a movie, it was torture under the Geneva Convention. Quick side note, someone had posted someone quite naughtily posted a YouTube short from the interview at the world premiere in London that I was at.
Oh.
And you saw Michelle Yeoh's face. And it was like a flashback for me. It was like, do you know what I mean? It was like a PTSD-inducing flashback of seeing her angry on stage. Because let's not forget, guys.
What is this?
She left halfway through that premiere.
Oh, wow. That's because she had to go fly to New York and tell us.
She was doing a meet
Let's
and
set our phasers not to kill, not to stun, but for fun. And then she left. I'm not going to do this shit again.
She was supposed to do a meet and greet, so she did the Q&A, and then she was supposed to do a meet and greet, and she bolted out of there. She left Rob Kaczynski on his own, and even he was like, yeah, she was supposed to be down here and like talking and meeting with the press and stuff like that. No, she just went. And then the whole thing ended at 10 p.m. And I'm just like, wait, what? What? But if they wipe the slate clean and stuff like that, surely they would have to do something with the Next Generation. If they're going to do that.
I think they're going to go in between. I think they're really going to go somewhere in between the generations, between the TOS and TNG, or Archer and TOS.
I think Archer and TOS would be a good standpoint.
I was sure the Archer thing had been like confirmed by people, but the problem is you don't know what's true anymore.
They went for
unless
a pitch.
It's from an actual insider.
No, it was a pitch. It was just a pitch.
Sussman,
like a Picard type of Archer movie, but they're not going to do that.
Sussman went and submitted a pitch to Paramount for Star Trek United. So do you know if they've not confirmed that they're not going ahead with it, or
then it's not confirmed? But the only thing is that they're just mulling what their options are, and there's going to be an era of no Trek.
No Trek.
2027 is ... question mark.
Oh, no.
Well, everything ends in 27. That's the thing. Everything that we currently,
and then there's no rumors or anything.
Everything that's currently on the slate ends in 27. Like so far, ends in 27. Starfleet Academy, Strange New Worlds, Scouts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kurtzman's contract and everyone else's contract ends in 27. I think, I'm again, I know Synoiz is just like, oh, we shouldn't be hopeful or anything. I think in 26, especially at STLV and the Comic Cons and stuff, we might get something.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think
you're going to be quiet.
You know what that void is in space? That's what we're getting for Trek.
I think we're regrouping. I think Paramount are basically
they're gonna
probably put great plans in motion, but they'll take a while to do.
For the 60th as well. For the 60th anniversary as well.
Remember when they got their 20th anniversary, there was no Trek. Because it was 60, 70, 80. No. So there was Trek. But
86. There was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie. But they went blank for a long time between TOS and TNG. Like they were in the movies, but there's nothing on television. But there was nothing really in the 70s except for the animated show. So there was really no live action Trek from because it was only on for 5 seasons, TOS?
TOS was 3. The animated series was 2, I believe.
Right. So, and those, was it 60 years ago? So, we're talking like the 1965 or such. So into 68, and then it went blank for how long?
A few years. About 5-6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have. It only came back because of Star Wars. That's what Spock kept saying. Hey, we got our 79 movie because of Star Wars. So I think we're gonna have another period of darkness where there's nothing.
Wow.
Well, the thing is,
they want a fresh fruit.
we will always have good old Trek, and we will always have fan Trek, and we'll always have, all of the cool projects that people are working on, I think. And yeah, so if we don't get any official Trek, I'm kind of fine with that as long as we're not having any garbage Trek, which sounds horrible, but yeah. Like
Yeah.
after watching this episode and seeing how good we managed to get it, I think Picard season 3 is a good send-off for the next generation.
I think,
For a
yeah, I think this showed, season 3 of Picard showed just how good Star Trek could. I mean, yes, Vox has its failings, and the whole season overall does have its failings, but it showed that if you brought in the right people and had the right writing staff and everything like that, that you can truly make Star Trek again and make people feel like it is Star Trek again. Because the beauty of this, I mean, this episode especially, Liz Klakowski, Dave Blass, Doug Drexler, the Yakudas, the sheer level of detail that we get on the Titan, on the Enterprise, and everything like that. And that's what makes Star Trek great. It's those tiny little details that just adds to the polish of the episode. It adds to the authenticity that this is Star Trek. And everything in this episode, this season, was the next generation's undiscovered country. It was the next generation in its twilight era. It was, everyone was, this is it. This is the last thing. I mean, that's why the last episode was The Last Generation. And just rewatching this episode and seeing all that stuff with Jack, forget the whole Borg thing and everything like that, but just how everyone acts with each other, how, it's an ensemble cast, but it's an ensemble cast where that each and every one of them loves each other. They all have their own time to shine. They all have their own stories. They all work together. And, nothing symbolizes it more than, obviously, we get Data back, and Data's got more, he's got the human element within him now. And the scene
He's his
where...
contractions. Yeah,
but the scene in the ready room where... you see Data go, do you want me to say something to comfort you? And Picard's like, I don't know what it is. And just the hand on the shoulder. And again, this is what Synoiz goes on about. It's, you can say a lot without saying anything at all. And this episode again proves that, where you can just that gesture and the return gesture from Picard just proves that there is comfort, there is love there between them both. And then when they go to Ethan Prime and they all see the Enterprise again, and you see that, it's that emotion that they have there, and then it's still broken up by, well, we certainly can't use the E, and then they all look at Worf and he goes, that was not my fault. And but it's those tiny little things that just make it. And I think it's just, you don't need to over-explain everything. You don't need endless dialogue describing everything. Visuals say more than words can ever say. And this is what Golden Era Star Trek did, and this is what this series did so goddamn well. And, it just... I love this episode so much, and it is a sad episode. It is a sad episode. We get a lot of revelations, but we do lose one of the most polar, defining characters of season 3, where everybody friggin' hated him in the first episode, and then he redeemed himself so much that even the people behind the series were like, we didn't realize Shaw would be loved this much. And Metalis is like, oh shit, yeah, if we do Legacy, I want an emergency engineering hologram that's just a snippy Shaw, where he's just like, you can't do that, just a pissed off Scotty from Chicago. It would be, and he was like, they didn't realize just how much he would be adored by the fans. Even Todd Stashwick didn't know how much he would be adored by the fans. And he was like, hell yeah, I would love to come back as an emergency engineering hologram, where he's just surly and he's just a gruff engineer. He's one of those gruff, like those old truck driver mechanics that, you can't do that to the warp coils, you asshole. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And it's just so heartbreaking, because he redeems himself all the way through, and then for him to be taken at the second to last episode, and you're just like, No, you mean everything to me. You're so beautiful. Why do you have to leave?
Doesn't it say a lot though about shows where they like doesn't it say a lot about shows where they're willing to take risks? Like we look at there's so much stuff in media. Like another thing that comes to mind is Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. But the idea of going, they didn't realize how iconic that character is, and then
Yeah.
obviously the game comes out. Now they're like, oh, we need to do loads more with that, but we killed her. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
bring her back for a trailer for like the next game and stuff. And it's this idea of like, but I think, and it's a shame because you just go, you didn't know that you had lightning in a bottle, but then that's usually the best thing for a show when they don't realize what they have. They don't realize how amazing this lineup is or how amazing this character is going to be, rather than them playing it safe or even worse, trying to direct what they want us to like. Like, look at like Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars and stuff, where they're like, kids are gonna love him. He's deliberately put in so everyone loves
And
him.
then the
Or
black people
or
called and said, "Hey, damn it,
Yeah.
not cool."
Yeah, and that's it. And they're like, no, he was played by a black man. You're like, technically, he was played by like a tennis ball on a stick, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of... but then 90% of the characters in episode 1 were. So it's like CG Yoda, but I know it's
How-
Puppet Yoda in the first one. Yeah.
I want to ask Joe, how did you feel about the revelation that the Changelings had essentially embedded Borg assimilation code into the transporters, so that everyone under the age of 25 whose frontal cortex had not been fully essentially were assimilated by just simply beaming aboard a ship? How did you feel about that, like, little
thought
device?
That was a pretty neat.
Yeah.
Thought that was a clever way to kind of mush the two villains together for whatever purpose. And I also feel that the Changeling stories that I remembered and loved in Deep Space Nine is they're really good at infiltration, and that's a key. And they kind of in previous episodes kind of dabbled in that realm again. It's like, we don't know who the Changeling is. It could be anybody. And the Changelings will, because they adapt into you and they like stuff you in a locker, and sometimes if you're lucky you don't get killed, and sometimes you do. It's like it's kind of like The Thing mixed with like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I love about the Changeling, because there's so many storylines you could do with like, wow, we're really taking over the galaxy, but it's kind of weird, and then all of a sudden, oh, it turns out Martok's a Changeling. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
How?
So for me, this was icing on the cake. It was like, yeah, that's exactly what the Changelings would do.
Who would
It feels
you?
a shame that they just get ignored. Like, basically.
Yeah, it was
sort of
like, you got the
Vaggot
big
gets
reveal
killed,
and then
then,
killed, and okay, bye-bye.
and you're like, but where are they? Like, even like, yeah, there could still be loads of them on the Enterprise. Like, they,
Yeah, I mean-
no, sorry, on the Titan. There could
Yeah.
be, and it's just
Same
feel-
thing.
Yeah, it just feels like a bit like they could have done so much more with them, but they used them like a device. Because what could the Borg Queen have possibly promised them? Like, I know a revenge, like, going, oh, well, I'll take out
Well, they
Starfleet
can't
or
be
something.
assimilated. The founders
Correct.
cannot be assimilated.
Yeah.
That's what we
So
learned.
essentially-
It would have been an alliance, like it would have been like World War II, where it's just like it's a mutual occupation alliance between Germany and Japan, like the whole invasion, like the invasion plan for America, where it's like Japan gets to control the West Coast all the way up to a
Germany
certain
gets the
point, and then Germany gets the East Coast. So it would have been like a mutual occupational alliance of the Federation, where they're just like, hey, we can assimilate, and then you get this part, and then this, and so it would have been, it would have been that. But I want to ask Joe, because I don't think I've asked this, who did you want to be the main villain?
Oh, I wanted it to be a founder. I wanted it to be Shaman Jens. I wanted her to come back. I know she's 89 at the time,
It would have worked.
Hey, with the
but it would have
makeup,
worked.
it
She's
would
like,
have
yeah,
been...
I think I forgot.
Yeah.
I wanted them to break her out. I wanted her to get out, and I wanted her to like start, having a massive plan to kind of restore dominance, or at least go back to the Dominion.
It would have really worked. I genuinely feel that the big, like in the 30 years of that era, the biggest baddie that they had was the Jem'Hadar and the Dominion. It decimated the Federation. I mean, you think the amount of rebuilding that they had to do, and if you take into account Prodigy and everything that they did, the Federation was on its arse by the end of the 24th century. So there was a lot of rebuilding that they needed to do. So, like to have them be at this point where they're just like, hey, we've got the fleet back up in numbers. We lost Mars, so we've had to deal with that, and we've done this, and then have the Dominion come back as this force. Because my theory is, one of my theories was like, the Par-Wraiths gathered control of the Bajoran wormhole and released the fleet that was in the wormhole.
Chilling there, yeah.
Because we have no confirmation that they are destroyed or anything. That they're just gone.
We could have another Wayun in there.
Yeah, exactly. You could have had Jeffrey Combs. You could have had anything. So it could have been like this unleash, where it's like, hey, they release this fleet from the wormhole, and Starfleet's like, they're back. But then it's like, oh, hang on. There's this alliance with the Borg, and what they've done a Battlestar Galactica. Essentially, just Battlestar Galactica, where they're back. They've got a whole fleet that we're under attack, and the fleet's like, let's try this new fleet formation. Bang, everything just goes off. The younger crew get assimilated. The ships can't work because they're completely locked out. And it's like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? How do we do this? And to just bring back the Borg as the main protagonist and not just one of the protagonists.
I would have much liked it to be the Borg being used. That the Borg had stopped being an antagonist.
Yeah, if it was reversed,
and
it would have
being a
really
tool.
well.
Yeah.
It started being like, hey, we've found that if we use Borg technology, we can do all of this crazy stuff. When we mix it with our changeling abilities and whatnot.
Well, she's decimated. The cube is decimated. The skeletal remains on the. It's literally only the Queen.
I don't get how the changelings went to her and basically went, oh, okay, so you're saying that we can't just steal all this technology and use it to make weapons and then
transwarp conduits to dominate the galaxy?
Doing all that, we could do all of that, but no, actually, what we'll do is we'll carry out her plan that puts her in charge of everything, and then we'll just let it happen. And it's like, even when the Borg, even in the previous episodes where the main antagonist is this weird,
she's so good.
No, but the main
fucking
antagonist
solid.
is basically who is telling Vadic what to do.
Yeah.
It's basically this weird shape that they have made out of flesh kind of thing. And obviously it turns out it's the Borg Queen. But it's this idea of going, that she's the boss, but how? What leverage does she have over them or anything? And it just seems to be plot armor. It just seems to be like, well, she's a Borg Queen, so naturally they'd do what she tells them to, even though she's stuck to a wall.
Or they could have done like where they made an alliance, and I mean, again, we see this with the Breen and the Cardassians in the Dominion War, where they make an alliance, but then the founders make an alliance with the Borg, but then the founders realize, we can just we know how to use their technology. We can just do without her. We don't have to have her here. Like, as soon as the drones are, we don't have to. We could just kill the Queen. We can just do thing.
That would have been the revelation. The revelation should have been them, rather than the way it plays out. I would have had it where it has them tracking down what the hell is going on with him, and tracking down this Borg Queen, and her just being that messed up and going, we had an alliance with the changelings, but they've thrown me under the bus and they stole this Borg technology, and this is like the plan, and that's how it kind of gets revealed. Well, then the changelings go, hey, but it's too late now because we're already in Starfleet and we're going to have Frontier Day.
So
I have it as her being like the traitor effectively to them.
So Joe's got to run, so we will bid him adieu. But thank you so much, Joe, for being on. It has been an absolute.
Having me.
It has been an honor and a pleasure.
We're gonna have to do a special one to have you guys on ours, and we'll come up.
yes, we'll do it.
A space and time that works fine.
He's an extremely busy man, and bless him for being a guest on today. We absolutely love him to bits. Please go follow the Captain's Quadrant. The link is as always in the description below. So please go and follow him. But until next time, Captain Joe, Thank you so
Signing
much.
off. I've come off the bridge. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Doodaloo. We will go to
Doodaloo.
two. We will go to two-person mode. Computer, take us to two-person mode.
See you later, Joe.
See you.
I hope this
Oh,
works.
that's amazing.
No, look at
Oh,
this.
ooh, clever.
Have I got the right screens on? Yes, I have. What do you think? I mean, the whole theory, like the whole theories that we had at the time.
I think it's not a case of being disappointed by what we got. It's about enjoying the fun we had guessing. Like that was the main thing. It was being here with you, chatting after every episode, and what people are doing in their homes and whatnot, where they're watching shows and they're going and they're talking with their friends and being like, "What do you think it is? What do you think it is?" Or going online. Like people get excited by going online and going, "Oh, what's the rumor mills? What's everyone talking about?" And that's part of the enjoyment of media these days. And
I absolutely.
I loved it.
It just for the longest time in New Trek, I didn't have the passion for it as much as I had for the passion of this series, like this season. Like 1 and 2 of Picard, we all really struggled with. With season 3, it genuinely felt like original Star Trek, and it was just. The passion was there, and doing this and having those theories and meeting wonderful people like Joe, Captain Squadron, Sean, and everyone like that, and just the whole 10 weeks of thoroughly enjoying it was just it was. And this episode was like, it was almost like a culmination of all my hopes and dreams when we eventually saw the Enterprise D. Although it's a ship, you know, it is one of the main characters of the next generation. It is the main character of the next generation, and to see it back, it was so emotional.
Getting to hear Magel's voice again.
Oh,
Even though it was clips from the show, it was still incredible.
it was. I mean, even today, it brought a tear to my eye. It really brought it, and it still every single time brings a tear to my eye, because everything that they do in those scenes, hey Chris, everything they do in those scenes, it's brilliantly directed. The musical score by Steve Barton and everyone else is absolutely wonderful. The visual effects are wonderful, and it's going home to a place that you thought you could never go back to. And I think for a lot of people, it was like, oh, well, you know, we have to go back to the Enterprise D. Well, you can't, it's destroyed. And it's like, no, Geordi spent 20 years rebuilding it, and he's meticulously done it. And it
has a really good reason. Like it's the fact of like, to talk about the new show, the fact of like, all we want, okay, as fans, is to know that you put thought into your decisions, that you know that you respect us enough to go, oh, we know the law, we know this, we wanted to do this, and this is how we manipulated the law, or how we sort of thought around stuff or set stuff up in order to make what we wanted to do possible. And that's why it was so disappointing with the Jem'Hadar thing, where they were just going, there's a female head Jem'Hadar, and everyone, and obviously my mind's immediately like, oh wow, what could this mean? Like, was there a thing after the Dominion War where they decided, oh, they can't just let them die out because they're clones, they're gonna have to make them survive as a species, so they're going to adapt them and stuff. All these possible things that they could have done to add amazing new lore, and then they just come out and say, oh yeah, women have always female Jem'Hadar have always existed, and you're like, no, they haven't. Like, specifically, they don't.
I really do hope that...
And it's a lack of respect, I think. And it makes you just go, oh, I don't think the writing's going to be very good here.
I really do hope that the writing is there and they do explain it. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I discussed
this the other day. They have said on the
day.
Twitter account, though, that...
I discussed this the other day because someone was like, hey, how come you didn't review season 5 of Discovery? How come you've not done a Discovery episode yet? There are episodes in the Dabble Wheel of Discovery. Yeah. We have not shied away. We have made sure that we have got an episode. Yeah, but we have made sure that we have got an episode of every Star Trek series on there. So at some point there will be a Discovery. The reason why in 24 we didn't do season 5 of Discovery, it's the sheer amount of backlash that we will get from if we make any criticism of the show. It's the sheer amount of negative backlash. Now, we experienced this to a lesser extent when we reviewed Section 31. Our review of Section 31 is the most disliked video on our channel by a country mile. Now, I look at the analytics and stuff, and it's like you are gonna get dislikes on videos because an opinion it's your opinion, it's subjective, yada yada yada, and same on YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. With Section 31, it's bad.
I'm just glad that they're showing up, because they definitely didn't show up for its Metacritic score, did they?
They definitely didn't show up anywhere else. But you know, and you know, it's sort of like, yes, there are some people that are disliking our video because it's us, but that's a very small, irrelevant minority. But the most of them, it's like, it's because we had that opinion and because it was who was running Section 31, like the actual production. And I have this worry with Starfleet Academy. Now, I'm going to go into Starfleet Academy with an open mind, a clean slate, and I will do what I always do with every episode of Star Trek that's new. We'll go in and we'll review it professionally, subjectively, and if there is any failings, we're not going to dump on it. We're going to go, how can we have made it better? Or how could they have made it better? How could they have got around an issue that we found in that episode?
I'm going to get drunk.
This is the thing. Like, we are not negative because we want to be negative. We're not negative because we want the views.
I think that's it. It's very much the idea of when we are negative about something, we are negative in a sort of positive critique way. Like,
and we provide a reason.
Like me sort of dunking on something like Discovery. I'm not saying, oh, I hated it because she's a woman. Oh, I hated it because I'm stuck in my ways or something. It's all of it is provided as a kind of, hey, why did this happen this way? Why did this happen this way? Like, there's no denying with season 1 of Discovery is so depressing. Like, I genuinely is like, why am I watching this show? It makes me feel horrible. Like, it makes me feel like there's no hope left in the world. And I'm like, why, with my life as busy as it is, would I consume media like this? Like, and that's the thing. And obviously a lot of people are like, oh, but it's edgier and stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I want. So why am I watching this? You know, and that, but I find that as kind of, you know, fair critique, you know, to go, hey, actually, this isn't what we needed right now, you know, like
but the thing is, and like I said, when I first started up the X account, in 2023, immediately within a few weeks, I was getting hate, and it was purely because of Discovery. So I learned very early on to sort of like, I don't want that. Our show is about sharing our passion of Trek, and if there's any critiques, we do it in a positive spin, and we suggest why we don't like it professionally, technically, and then we provide a solution. Like, you've seen me with Sub Rosa. Like, we reviewed Sub Rosa, and yes, we had a laugh, and we had candlestick. Are you suggesting
it's not an amazing episode of Trek?
As I said, it had very nice sets. So even with Sub Rosa, where people are going, this is fucking awful, I'm like, yes, but here is a positive from that, and that's what we will do with Discovery. That's what we will do with Starfleet Academy. My fear is that if we say anything remotely negative, there's going to be a certain group that come after us and go, but you hate it because of this, and no.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit, because the fact is, the way the algorithm works is dislikes is still engagement. You know, like, so
yes.
Even if it has all of the dislikes and stuff, it still actually meant it got people discussing stuff. What we can't have is being scared to discuss things or approach topics because people aren't ready to deal with that. Like, So the idea of if there's people that love these shows so much that they can't take any criticism of them, or that they can't take on board or argue against any criticism. I mean, what I'd much prefer is getting comments on our videos saying, I disagreed with you about this. Like, please, if you disagree with any of the opinions that we have on this show, such as like, oh, we didn't like it being the Borg, or we thought it should have been this, comment on this video, like start a discussion in the comment section, just basically so that we can go like, oh, actually, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, because we don't get challenged enough. Like, we are a one-way thing telling you, hey, this is what we think about this. You have the full opportunity to come back to us and say, well, actually, I thought it was brilliant. And I think it's quite cool that we're getting that on the shorts that we're posting, where we're getting people commented being like, oh, I agree with this, or, oh, actually, this is rubbish. And it's like, cool, tell us why it's rubbish. You know, like, and if you don't have anything, then yeah, we're not going to worry about you. Like, you know, because obviously, you know, what you're saying is like, oh, we've upset Discovery fans or sort of Academy fans. But it's the idea of going, yeah, but if there's no discussion to be had there and they just want to be hateful or disagree with us, then you're like, well, I don't think you were going to be watching the show anyway. So
it's, and you know, even episodes like Vox that I absolutely adore, we still have legitimate criticisms of the episode and the overarching story of the season. But at least we sit here and go, you know, we don't go, oh, it's a Borg, I hated that. We're going, well, yes, we got the Borg, but we could have had the Jem'Hadar if they'd have done it this way. Or why did they do the Borg? You know, it feels like a fatigue and stuff like that when we, you know, they could have had an uneasy alliance with the Dominion, and the Dominion could have realised that they were the superior power, and after they'd used the technology, they could have done away and stuff like that. And you know, we don't just dump on it for the sake of dumping on it.
I mean, the thing is, my new theory, and I was going to tell you about this, I was going to send you a voice note earlier about this when I was rewatching it, is I've been proved right. Since we first watched this, okay, we did a poll and we got it right. Because when you think about it, okay, like, the whole plan hinges on the changelings managing to smuggle Picard's DNA into the transporter system, so that everyone who uses the transporter system gets, you know, like, gets this Borg DNA put into them effectively.
Yeah.
And that's what allows the whole plan to happen. Would the greatest officer in Starfleet history have allowed that to happen on his watch?
No. He would have noticed that.
Chief Miles O'Brien, a Union man, had been there and watching those transporters, he would have found that code and stopped it happening. So why wasn't he looking at those transporters? I'll tell you why. Because he was distracted. Because he was distracted by the greatest evil in the universe.
Keiko!
Keiko O'Brien. So at the heart of this entire conspiracy, it's Keiko again.
Look, we said this 3 years ago, and we're going to say it now. This season would have been resolved in 3 episodes with Miles O'Brien, because he would have looked at the transporter code and went, Jesus, and then just wiped it, and everything would have been fine. The beauty of Miles O'Brien. Why was he not Fleet Admiral? Why did Shelby get there before Miles Edward O'Brien? Because he's... I tell you why.
She's distracting him with her feminine wiles.
No, I tell you why. Because he's far too busy in his space garage. You think Hangar 12 was busy with the restoration of the Enterprise D. Who's keeping Atham Prime running? Miles Edward O'Brien.
Could have done that in a year.
Yeah. 20 years for LaForge.
20 years. Yeah.
20 years for LaForge. Miles is restoring the station around it. That's how, single-handedly as well. Like, that's the old space dock. He's keeping it all. He's keeping every light running.
O'Brien is the reason that the space dock, and here's a criticism of the episode, O'Brien is the reason why the space dock lasts as long as it does, because he's on board. He's on board there, being like,
I mean, it's testament
I'll keep the shields going.
It's testament to Starfleet that they have a 130-year-old space dock still operational and now a museum. So it's insane that it's like, oh, look at this ship, it's from 20 years ago, it's in a museum. Oh yeah, the museum itself is 120 years old. And but it's just, I'm telling you, he would have resolved it.
Yeah.
He would have resolved it. But I mean,
I saw that meme the other day, and it's like it's the DS9 cast photo, and it basically says like DS9 at 100 running at 100% capacity, and then everyone else, and then the next picture is everyone else blacked out except for O'Brien, and it says DS9 running at 99% capability.
Yeah,
and he's just like accurate.
But I mean, seeing the Enterprise D and seeing them back on the bridge, and then seeing the majestic chair, which, by the way, I have part of.
Yep, you do.
I have part of the captain's chair from the Enterprise D in my possession. Smells like Jean-Luc. It smells like baguettes and Earl Grey. It's fantastic. Seeing it again, and it, there was rumors. There was rumors, and there was like a certain large YouTube channel accidentally blurted it out, which resulted in them being blacklisted by Paramount for a while. But for a while, it was a rumor that the Enterprise D was going to be shown, and then to see it visualized with 2023 CGI, the beautiful bridge recreated by Blas, Klekowski, Okudas, Drexler, and everyone else involved, it still brings a tear to my eye to this day, because it's just everything hits right. That whole scene, everything hits right, and to end an episode after 35 years. Not after 35 years. When did it end? 94? After 30 years, to see the Enterprise D running again, leaving a space dock, ready to warp into action. Nothing will ever come close. I don't think nothing in New Trek will ever come close to that scene. I think there is fan service, but the way that whole thing was done was fan service done right. It was done properly at the right time, with the right amount of timing, the right amount of scenes and everything like that. It was, oh God, it brings a tear to my head. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up seeing it, and like just seeing that scene there where it's just like about to warp out. I love it, and I'm holding on to this. I'm holding on to this daily because I own a part of it.
This is the thing. This is how passionate we are about Trek, and it's wonderful. Like whether people like the show, Discovery and stuff. It's the idea of having this and loving it. Loving this media and trying not to make it toxic. Like trying to sort of just go, hey, enjoy the stuff you enjoy. Stay away from the stuff that you don't enjoy. Rather than forcing yourself to consume it, like it's, and that's the thing, and if we're perfectly honest, that's why we haven't reviewed things like Discovery, because it's the fact of I don't think we would enjoy doing it. No one's asking for it, and we wouldn't enjoy doing it, and I realized
I realized when we reviewed Elogium just how depressed a bad episode can make me.
Yeah,
where it's like there's bad where you can make a joke about it, and then there's bad where it's not even funny to make a joke about it, and it actually makes you depressed. Like it actually, like I genuinely
not even
fell
the
into
term
a
space nonce made me cheerful during that episode, and I got to say it a fair bit.
And then I played Elite Force, and it was like, even Neelix can do better than you, and I'm like, not after Elogium, he can't. Not after Elogium. But I mean, just this is the type of episode that just makes me realize why I love Star Trek and why I will always love Star Trek. And yes, it is difficult at some points. And yes, I do want things, but I want never gets. But just having this and just realizing, this is something special. This is something that just makes me happy. I will never, ever forget it. And I still can't believe. I still cannot believe I am owner of a part of the USS like the actual USS Enterprise D, and I will always treasure this.
Here is the thing, though. Obviously, like with you treasuring that, like I think, like there's a comment made in the episode about like Picard's like, oh, you know what I realized I missed? Carpets.
Carpet.
And it's and And it is, and it's this idea. I think there's always been something cold in New Trek in terms of the sets, because it is all glass, it's all like bright lights, and it's all sort of like futuristic. Whereas
Yeah.
like what we had in the Next Generation was a kind of comfiness. And
Hmm.
to be fair, that's what I want. Like it's you know when you go to offices and they're like, we've made our office really futuristic, and you're like, it's just white. Everything is white and boring and lifeless. Like that's not what I want the future to be. I want the future to be carpeted and comfy and like round shapes and like I don't want it to be lens flares and sort of like burning your eyes out and dark corridors with really bright overhead lights. And seeing the ship again was just like, why can't we have ships like this? Like, I don't know. I challenge whoever makes the next Star Trek stuff to go carpets. We're putting carpets on the bridge. There you
I
go.
mean, budgetary reasons and everything like that, they can't do what they did in the 80s and stuff, which is understandable, yada, yada, yada. But that meme I saw the other day where it's just like, why does the Next Generation resonate so much with men? It's a giant man cave with a huge TV, big recliners, and a soft carpet. And it's
Exactly.
but it resonates, and it's visually nice. It looks comfortable. As you guys probably hear, if me and Synoiz are silent for a minute, and the music, not the music, the bridge hum died. The bridge hum dies. Hang on, there we go. It's the bridge hum. It's the sound of the computers. It's the sound of the engines.
Yeah.
It's the tiny little things, and this is what this season just got right. It's those tiny, tiny, tiny little things that all build up to just give Trekkies that serotonin, that nostalgia hit that they need. I mean, even in this episode, you hear the chimes on the hour or every half hour from the undiscovered country, because they're comforting, and it's like, oh, I absolutely love it. And I love this episode, and I'm so happy we get to not re-review it because it's no longer existing, but we get to review it again, and thoroughly relive that. And like I said, we have legitimate criticisms of it, but it does not take away from the fact that this is a wonderful episode in a wonderful series that spawned so much demand for a continuation that Paramount sadly just did not want to do.
Yeah. Sullivan Shawnee in the chat is what makes your podcast so special? Lots of podcasts have a north. I like the idea of it, but we are the northernmost podcast. I don't know. Are we? I don't know. We're aiming towards north. We're not in the north, maybe. We're getting towards there, and that's why we're trekking up north. I don't know. But the other comment is there are pointing out that there's videos on YouTube of the engine hum for 10 hours to help people sleep. And I've used that. I've genuinely, when I was having a really stressed time, like last year during the competition, like I listened to there's one which is the ambient sounds from the promenade from DS9. And I genuinely, it's got a little dabber wheel in the background, and I would sleep to that because it's like 10 hours. And yeah,
Paramount actually released it.
About it.
Yeah, Paramount actually released the because that's what you are hearing right now, guys. This is what Paramount released. They released they released the bridge hum of the Enterprise D, and then they also released the general hum that you hear in the quarters, without like the computer noises or anything like that from the main bridge, just the engine hum they released, and it was a 10-hour track. And people listen to it, and people, they say it's their perfect white noise because it just harks back to their childhood, but it's something that just helps them sleep. I mean, I sleep with white noise, and I've noticed a difference. Living alone, I can't have silence because I'm just like any single knock, I'm just, and I'm like, I'm up with a baseball bat in my pants. And it's
why did you put the baseball bat in your pants, I think is the question.
Because I need to overcompensate somehow. But it's
But I think it leads to our thing though of when we're reviewing episodes like this, because a lot of people have dismissed this episode and the final episode as being, oh, it's just fan service. But it's so much more than that. Like, yes, it is lots of fan service, but it's fan service done well. It's not just like,
Mm.
hey, remember this? Like, the South Park Remember Berries thing of going, hey, remember this, remember Geordie, remember Data, remember like, and that's what seasons 1 and 2 felt like. They felt like, hey, we'll throw this thing in. Whereas this season genuinely felt like, oh yeah, remember the Changelings? Well, they've got tons to do, and we've got loads of things to do with them. And oh, remember this, remember the Borg, remember like. And it works. Like, remember Shelby, and it's like,
But this
oh,
is
yeah,
a
that makes sense.
continuation. Yeah, it's like yeah, because they exist. Why wouldn't they be there?
Yeah, and Lower Decks does it incredibly well, where it's not just playing on nostalgia. However, do you think that nostalgia helps you enjoy this episode? Because I
Yeah.
tried to be fair and criticize the like I've said like, why can Jack do this and he can't do this? Why do they just let him go? Why do they, I'll point out all of the flaws in it, but it doesn't stop me loving this episode.
I think
And I try to stay away from the nostalgia aspect.
I think overall the entire series is a nostalgia trip. Like, this entire season is a nostalgia trip, but it's not. It's really hard to put it into words, but it hits that nostalgia vein so well because it is a continuation of the next gen era. It's not a, hey, do you remember this person? Do you remember this person? And it's just like, yeah, well, of course Geordie would be doing this. Of course Worf would be doing this. Of course Ro Laren this. And of course Shelby would be Fleet Admiral. And it's like, there's been 35 years. People have moved on. People have had a life. But this is like, this is essentially going, yep, we're just continuing on. We're just, of course, you're going to see, the mention of the Dominion, the mention of the Jem'Hadar, the Ferengi, and so. And it's like, it picks up the nostalgia, but it uses it in a way where it's just like, we're just going to continue to do exactly what we did in the 90s. Because let us not forget, in every single series of the 90s, there was crossovers. And like this, they never made a song and dance. We had Julian Bashir in The Next Generation. We had McCoy, Scotty, Spock in The Next Generation. In DS9, we obviously had Picard. We had those crossovers in there. In Voyager, for God's sakes, we had Quark. We had DS9. We had Barclay. We had Troy. Because of course they're going to be there. It's their world. Why would they not be there? And this is why it works.
But it's doing it respectfully. Like,
Yeah.
the last episode we reviewed was from season 1 of Picard, like Stardust City Rag, that basically pointed out the exact worst way to do nostalgia bait. Where it was basically going, hey, remember this character? Well, here they are again, immediately to die, and they're nothing like they used to be. Like, they're totally.
Yeah.
It's literally just, oh, we just stuck their name on a different character and went, there you go, that's fan service for you. Like, and the contrast between season 1 of Picard and season 3 of Picard is palpable. It's ludicrous. And
Terry Metalis and Dave Blass. That is why this, above all the other seasons, felt like Star Trek, because it's like, hey, you need this. You need it to sound like this. You need the LCARs to look like this. You need the shuttles and everything to be designed properly. You need Starbase to look like this. And it's the tiniest details that build it up. And then you look at, like, even daft shit like Aethan Prime, where it's like, yeah, we're going to have the Stargazer and the Voyager, because of course the museum pieces. But then it's the daft tiny little shit in the background where it's like, yeah, we've got the NX-01, but it's the refit because that's what they were going to do with season 5. So we've made it canon. And then it's like, oh, here's the Defiant. Well, of course the Defiant would be a museum piece. And of course this would be. And it's like, it's those tiny little things, but it's the devil is in the detail. And they do it to a point where they're not throwing it in your face. You have to go looking for them. You have to spot, like in the scene where the Enterprise is leaving the space dock, and you pause it and you go, shit, there's a Romulan warbird, there's the NX-01, there's the Stargazer, and then you look at it and you go through, like, Michelle Barrett is in is the computer voice. They brought her voice files back and they did that. And then even the tiny things where they're like, yeah, here's the bridge and here's like the fabric and the carpet and the colouring, and it's like the tiny things where it just makes it feel real and like how it used to be. And it sort of contrasts with like, yeah, this was 35 years ago, so this is how in 35 years ships have transitioned to be like these darker, grey, more naval, because the Federation's had 20 years of war and 20 years of battle. So of course you would have more militaristic functional ships. And we see this in the progression of the original series to the Undiscovered Country, where the original series Enterprise was bright and coloury, and we had lots of reds and carpets and stuff like that, to the Undiscovered Country, where it's like, this is a more militaristic naval vessel that's worn down, it's seen, it's been tested in battle, it's got nicks and scrap. I mean, this is the colouring. This is like a naval colour, like without the lights, it's like a naval grey. But in the show, you can see like the little nicks and dings and scratches, and you know, of course there's going to be a clock with the time, of course there's going to be chimes, of course there's going to be, you know, the 23rd century equivalent of radar and stuff like that. It just makes it look more authentic, and it goes, hey, yeah, because we've had God knows how many issues, of course our ships are going to be a little bit more militaristic. And then
but that's it. But I disagree with that, in the idea of like, I want a future where things are comfortable, you know. Like,
but this is what I'm getting to.
This is the reaction to the Dominion War.
But this is what I'm getting to, because again, with the evolution of Starfleet, it ebbs and flows, where it goes, yeah, we've got the colourful optimism of exploration, but then we have a few conflicts and we go into militarization, and then between the Lost Era and the Next Generation, that reduces, and then they go back to their exploration era, where you've got these massive vessels with comfort, with families, with schools and stuff, and then it goes back again, where it's like, now we've got conflict, so we need these more militaristic vessels, and we need them and stuff like that. And it just shows that the evolution of design ebbs and flows with the sign of the times, and the contrast of, well, the Enterprise D was, you know, at a time when there was this was designed before Wolf 359, so of course it would have luxurious seating and carpeting and self-cleaning and schools, and then the E and the F will look more militaristic and the Titan's more militaristic because, hell, we've had the Dominion, we had the shit from Prodigy, we had this from Lower Decks, whatever it is. So it's a product of the time.
The problem is, though, I'm like, even if we were at war, can't we just be a bit luxurious? Like, I'd want a military vessel that still had carpets. You know?
I mean, you can see it.
People can bleed elsewhere.
But you can
see
see
stuff you can do to get it out.
You can see it, because with the Titan, obviously they had the more luxurious leather chairs, but then even the officers, like, the evolution of the uniform, see, because the reason why the uniforms all went grey, all the jackets went grey, was because they're easier to manufacture and stuff like that. Very much like it is in the military, it's easier to do that and not have tailored colours for each, blah, 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 blah. Where after the war, they went back to the colours, and then all the bars had the colours again, and they all had red and yellow and blue and stuff like that. But then they went even more relaxed, where they were like, hey, you don't have to wear this uniform all the time. You can actually just wear this leather jacket. Like, you can just wear, like a Picard bomber. You can have a more casual look because we're no longer at war. But stuff like that, the visual stuff and the cosmetic stuff, again plays into the complacency that Starfleet has gotten to again, and shows that they hadn't learned from Wolf 359. They hadn't learned from the Dominion War, where they've gone, well, all that's done with now. Now we're going to look at, we can network and we can have comfortable uniforms and jackets and stuff like that. And it's like, all right. And then it shows tiny visual cues show that, again, that Starfleet has an issue with complacency when it comes to stuff.
To quote season 1 of Picard, I would say that it has a problem with sheer fucking hubris.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of, they go like, hey, well, that threat's over with, time to do this. But this is a point I wanted to mention, though, because I'm not being conspiracy theorist or anything, but it's the fact of,
prepare to be cancelled.
Right now in the world is the worst possible time to be introducing critical points of failure, I think.
Hang on, let me go. Let me go to alert mode. All right, go ahead.
There we go. But like for instance, we saw it recently where we had Amazon Web Services like AWS actually go down,
And
like where
Cloudflare as well.
well we had Amazon go down, and that took like half the internet well, that took a lot of services with it, okay, across the like thing, and then that happened, and everyone was like, wow, we've put all our eggs into this basket, and we've gone like, hey, they said we'd be safe, but actually we weren't. And then after that we had Cloudflare go down.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh wow, that's really strange that two massive things have gone down within like about a month of each other. And then Cloudflare went down again, but only for like North America, I think it was, but it still
Like
caused
three
loads of
times it's gone
problems.
down now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's this idea, and they're like, oh, well, that was someone put some dodgy code out there. And you're sitting there being like, that's not a comforting reason. The idea of going, hey, we've tied ourselves to this wagon, and then everything can sort of go down. So if anything happens to Amazon or Cloudflare, the internet goes down. And then we're looking at people like sort of other countries that might want to do stuff, and just going, hey, cool, here's a single critical point of failure that you can just put all of your effort into. Like, and then, and that's what happens. I think when you get so big as a technology or as a society, you start going like, hey, we're going to do this thing. It's a great idea. And then you don't see the forest for the trees of going like,
The
maybe
AI
putting
bubble.
everything together. Yeah, like AI. Like going, hey, how about we just make AI for everything, and we make it control our customer services, we make it control our social media, we make it control all of this, and everyone else is kind of sitting there being like, but AI is losing money. Like, what happens when they go, hey, it's 100 quid a day to run an AI thing, right? Cool, and they just go, oh, you can't untangle from it because you put all your systems through to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and and then to see that represented in this episode as like the fleet, where they just go, hey, for our security, we're going to put everything into one single critical point of failure. And this is the conspiracy theory that I have, though, is the idea of, I'm saying it's because changelings in Starfleet were like, you know what would be great, doing all of this. And I kind of wonder how many systems in the real world are kind of have people going, hey, let's just move over to this. Let's just make all of these decisions.
I don't
don't believe that, but I like the idea of going like, we can see the parallels of going, hey,
But again, it shows that history, like, people have a short-term memory when it comes to history, where it's just like, hey, do you remember when like hacking? Do you remember when like network vulnerabilities? And they're just like, let's link every single starship to this singular thing, and it's like, yeah, but there is obviously a vulnerability to it.
Yeah.
And like,
And
even
it's
when
hubris, it's the idea
Yeah.
of going, they haven't had a threat for a while because the
They're
Romulans
complacent.
are shattered. The Romulans are shattered. The Cardassians are still recovering. The Breen aren't plot relevant in anymore, kind of thing. The Dominion's gone. The Borg haven't shown up for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's back to hubris, exactly like we've had after the original series, after after the Dominion War.
And the thing is, like, the likes of Picard and the ilk would be like, hey, like, this is not a good idea because of this. And then it's people like Shelby, like, not to dunk on Shelby, but it's the mindset of the people like Shelby where, I mean, they even said in this episode, like, of all the people to celebrate this fleet formation, it's Shelby that celebrates it. And it's like, yeah, because even people like Shelby can become incredibly complacent. They can become incredibly, they have the hubris to think, well, all the major threats are gone now, there's nothing else, so we can just do this. And this is where we see Starfleet persistently not learning, or learning but then having a very short memory. And you look at, I mean, Joe said it there, with the exploration of the Lost Era, they had a Cardassian war, and then that ended, and then they went back to exploration, and then they, all the fleet was primarily for exploration. They didn't learn and go, hey, maybe we need a defense force, maybe we need to look at this.
Yeah.
So you see, like, the universe of Star Trek in like the 2290s go from being militaristic to like you even see it on the Enterprise B in Generations where it's soft carpet and soft captain's chairs and everything is so plush and then you see like the development of the Enterprise C, and again it's a big exploration vessel, and this is and like they sort of don't learn, and they go, well, we're going back to exploration now because our rhetoric is we are not a militaristic organization, so if we stand down and stuff because we'll never have this threat again, and then a threat happens and they get absolutely decimated and then they go back to being militaristic, but then again they demilitarize, go back to and this is what we and this. Because again, I've just recently done all the edits for the Best of Both Worlds for all the YouTube shorts, and we go on about it there, where it's their sheer hubris that they believe no one can defeat the Federation. We've got an armada, and that armada is done. 100, like 20, 40 ships they said was destroyed. They only have 120 in the entire Federation because they're sheer hubris. Why do we need? We're the mighty Federation, and then one King Cube decimates them. So then they go back to being militaristic and they develop. But even we see this in DS9 with the Defiant. We don't get the Defiant to season 3, and even Cisco goes, yeah, well, the threat from the Borg diminished, so they just scrapped it. And it's like, but you know something will happen again, so why don't you do this? What? Because again, it's the hubris of we're not a militaristic organization. And you see this pattern repeat again and again and again. And you see it all the way through
I think
DS9, Prodigy, and stuff like that. And then again, it's like, oh, Starfleet doesn't have enough ships. Starfleet doesn't this, doesn't this, doesn't...
Yeah.
They don't learn.
No, O'Sullivan Shawnee has it in the chat. Like this is called the paradox of climate. This is called the paradox of tolerance. The theory goes back to Greek times, and this is what's so human though, because we're like this. Like people are like this, where you just go and to be fair though, you have to be, because if you permanently live in a state of PTSD of going, oh, there's threats everywhere and stuff like that, then what we get is like we were saying about Shelby, where you just kind of go, you never relax, you never enjoy your life, you never have anything. But the idea is being ready to jump at what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Like, the war might be behind you, but still having the preparation,
having the preparedness.
So it's like that thing. It's like, like you might not have experienced danger in your life for a good few years, but you know that when it happens, you've got to be like, oh, I know what to do here, or I know how to protect myself or whatnot. But you don't live your life going, got to make sure just in case it happens, because then it consumes you. It's that balancing act, but I think that's what makes it all human. And this is the thing, like the criticisms that we have of the Federation are criticisms of ourselves and humanity, and that's the difference of the Borg, where the Borg never relent. The Cardassians are like, hey, the only way to enjoy our lives is to have the government rule every single aspect, well, a military government to rule every aspect of our lives and stuff. And it's that trade-off, and that's the distinctiveness between the different races and species and politics in Star Trek that makes it so wonderful. But one thing O'Sullivan Shawnee was saying, talking about the AI industry and stuff, about how YouTube and Facebook lost billions for a decade or so until they started making money. I would argue, though, that they're not tools. They are not tools that other people intrinsically need for their businesses to run. If it was like, hey, my website or my business can't run unless this YouTube video exists, that would be a different story. But it's like having it where everything needs it and there's constant pressure. Like a company using Facebook didn't put too much pressure on Facebook in terms of services, but like what we have from AI, we've never seen anything like it in terms of like the memory, like what we use for crypto, what we use for AI, like the actual cost of memory
the RAM
is
crisis.
soaring. And it's insane. Like we're just kind of going like it's like the technological equivalent of during the pandemic where we couldn't get bread or flour, and we were like, what?
Yeah, but we even had the chip shortage. We had the chip shortage during the pandemic, and that's why the car industry, like I went to buy in 2022 2 years after the pandemic, I went to buy a new car. And they, like, normally when you go in, they, you know, you trade in your old car and they're like, right, okay, this will take, you know, a couple of months and it'll get delivered, blah, blah, blah. They sat down and they went, yeah, like, it'll be 8 months and there is no guarantee that you'll get all the options that you want because we are still recovering. And I'm like, what? And like, I had to go buy, I like, luckily there was a used, I mean, it was a year old. And I'm not being a snob or anything like that, but I was in a fortunate position where I could go and buy the new car. And it was a year old, but it had everything I wanted. And they said, literally, do this because you will not get every option that you want because we cannot physically manufacture it. We don't have the necessary resources. We are still recovering. And it was the same with the PS5s, the Xboxes, the PCs. They could not get the materials to manufacture the chips. So there was that shortage and it was still reeling like 2 years later. And with AI, I was speaking to a friend at an old job and I was like, you know, hey, you know, I was considering going back. And he said, even if you came back, and this is him saying it, he's like, even if you come back, you will be gone within 6 months because what they are building and what they have invested with AI is frighteningly good and will replace an entire division of humans in the space of a year. Now, that is like, I'm talking about 100 to 200 jobs in one division alone, gone, because the money that they've invested in doing AI can do their jobs, can have the critical thinking that these people have, and it is frightening. But again, you're looking at it and everyone's investing in AI, and Microsoft invested 10 billion, which is drove up the frigging price of RAM. But then even Microsoft is struggling because they've now realized, hey, not a lot of companies are actually buying our tools and integrating them.
Yeah, everyone's
what are we
going to
do?
Like, it's the fact of AI, the AI tools that I use, because I use Copilot, Microsoft Copilot quite a lot, because it's actually really good for bouncing ideas off and things. But it's the idea of going, I wouldn't pay for it. Like, I don't pay anything. It just comes with, like, you can just go to a browser and use it kind of thing. Like, and the fact is, I wouldn't pay for it, like, on principle. But it's the fact of going, well, how do they make the money then? Like, and they're talking about adding advertisements and stuff into it, but you just go, well, what? Like, how's that going to work? Is that just going to be banner adverts appearing between responses? Or is it going to be that the AI actually starts pushing particular products and being like, hey, this isn't the best product for the job, but here's what I've got to push in order to, like, meet this sponsorship. And then it's just going to become like, you know, Facebook or even bits of YouTube where you go, this is unwatchable now. Like, we can't use this anymore. Like,
well, look at Meta.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at Meta, and you know the amount of people that say half of my crap on Meta is AI slop, and it's because that this is what Meta is pushing. And you look at it, and like, I mean, even I'll sit there and I'll go through Facebook, and I'm like, 90% of this is AI crap. And this is someone who uses AI, by the way, because I am hideously untalented. So I use certain things, AI, but whatever, you know, like building around it, I use whatever I can as my own. But a lot of people will just use AIs. And ironically, we were talking about this the other day on a Twitch stream. There is someone that myself and a few people know who has a website selling nerdy merch, right? And he has 130% just use everything AI. But again, there is no human input because he just puts it on. He puts the slop on. He puts the descriptions through AI. He puts the images through AI. And whatever he doesn't use as AI, he takes off the actual manufacturer's website. So he doesn't take any photos or anything like that. And then you look at it and you go, I would never buy from this person. I would never buy from this person. Or I will show you the website and you will have put it this way, Ozzy had to pull...
just Temu?
No, it's worse. Ozzy had to pull over his truck and have Panadol because he was getting a migraine from this website, right? I'll show it to you later after the recording and you'll probably have a mild aneurysm. But you look at it and you go, I would never buy from this site because 99% of it is just lazy AI put in, never proofread, never checked, and just slopped on. And there is no genuine photos, there's no nothing. And you go, I would never buy from that. And a load of, like, you see all these crap videos and stuff, and people are just doing it to get likes and views and stuff, and you're like, it's lazy.
I struggle. I think I was complaining about this to someone the other. I don't think it was you, but it was someone I was complaining to the other week about, like, with YouTube, okay? The one thing I don't like is where it's like a factual video, but then randomly it has the person talking. Like, you know this, where it's us seeing each other because we're having a discussion and that's why we're on webcam. But you know the videos where it kind of has a guy and he's got a lapel mic. Oh God, I remember a big rant about this. He's got a lapel mic and he's holding it. And I'm like, the point of that microphone is that it clips to your shirt. Why are you holding it?
If you do this
I'm getting
on a
PTSD.
video, if you
Stop
do this
it.
on a video,
Stop it.
you need a slap.
It's just, it's like the clip is so it goes on the jacket. But anyway, but and instead they're just like, and it's like hold it like, you know, like half a foot away from your face.
Yeah, don't talk to a mic like
like
it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just
Don't
go,
do that.
"Argh." But you know, I'm not a fan of that. It's just like, hey, just show me pictures, just show me a slideshow of the video. But then the issue now is because there's so much slop where it's a really bad AI voice and it's an AI script, so it doesn't quite make sense, or it keeps repeating the same phrases every couple of lines, and you're just going like, oh. And I found that the only videos I can rely on to not be AI slop are the ones where there's actual humans there talking, and so I'm trapped in this position of not liking this format. But then it also being the only way that from like the video or the first few seconds of a video, you can actually see that it's quality content and that it's actually not been written by a computer. And it's just another nail in the coffin for being like, what are we supposed to enjoy now? You know? But yes.
Yeah. Do you have any notes for Vox? Any more notes for Vox?
Oh yeah. I don't think we do. One thing I wanted to ask you though, and I don't know, like well, actually, I've got some questions for you about it.
Oh,
However,
God.
the main point I like is obviously when Shaw dies, he doesn't use. That's been a recurring thing throughout the season of him refusing to acknowledge. And obviously, we can
Commander
apply
Hansen
that,
and stuff.
yeah. But we can apply that to, you know, the real world. But it's the idea of that acceptance of her as a person, regardless of like that, you know, the Borg affiliation and her past and stuff like that. I really liked that. I love Data being very funny. Like I loved Worf and Data being the comedy elements throughout the series. Like Worf has so many great one-liners in this.
But that's their
like, you know,
strength. That was always their strength. Was the comedic relief. Yeah.
But you know, like sort of like you know,
I hope we die
tea,
quickly.
nice house. Yeah, that's it. And what is it? I preferred the weapon systems on the E. You know, like after everyone's like amazed at the thing, he's like, and you realizing that that's me. That is genuinely me getting given the most amazing thing in the entire world, and just being like, oh, it's quite nice, you know, and then just like destroying the moment because that's what I'm like.
It's our inability to do that high level masking in that moment at that time. Yeah. And it's like your brain goes, yeah, good tea.
yeah. But but the thing I wanted to ask you, okay, is what is the formation that the fleet takes on when the Borg take over? Because it looks like words, it looks like symbols, it looks like there's some kind of significance, but I have absolutely no idea what it is.
It's like, literally the formation is just there's a few elements. There's diamond patterns. There's certain shapes and stuff like that. It has no real relevance visually, but it has relevance in terms of tying all of their systems in. It's like the tachyon. Is it the tachyon net? From the Next Generation, where they create that tachyon net to detect cloaked vessels and stuff like that. It's legitimately just a shape for visual purposes only, but we know that all the systems are tied and that the network would run, you know, like essentially physically what it does, it plays to each clash of ships strength. So if it's like if there's a fleet formation, it goes, right, the Odyssey class would be at the center, Sovereign class on either side, smaller scout ships and frigates and stuff would be the ancillaries and stuff like that. And it's sort of like it converges all their power grids into one centralized node to make it more powerful, yada, 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 yada. It's purely... It's purely for visual purposes only, but I do get where it comes from because it does look like a word and it does look like a genetic sequence
like
as well.
And I thought, and I was just like, is there?
I'm actually gonna have a quick look. I'm actually gonna have a quick look.
And the other question is, like, now it's in the next episode that this happens, but the fact is, how does in the next episode, like the Last Generation?
Yeah, it's all diamond shapes. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, the reason why they can't invade Earth with the fleet is because the space dock exists, and apparently that has shields. But I'm like, how does that work? Does the space dock create a shield around all of the planet?
What a deliciously handsome question, and thank you so much for saying it in such a sexy way that I'll be able to respond in a butchered Middlesbrough accent. The planetary... So I've actually got a picture of the fleet formation there, and it's literally... it's all circles. It's like circles with a few ships on either side.
Yeah. It looks like words. It looks like alien language.
Yeah.
And I was just
the Earth space dock is tied into the planetary defense grid. So Earth space dock essentially... when the defense kicks in, planetary grid, a shield that envelops the Earth, all right, and defends it against like firing and everything like that. It's essentially like a meteor defense net. That is the central hub of the planetary defense, and obviously it's got a ridiculous amount of shielding and armor and everything like that because it's a giant bloody piece of machinery in space. So it's essentially Star Trek's Death Star, but without the death on it, right? And obviously,
why isn't it inside the shield though?
It is. That's the thing. It acts as like the pinch point for the defense grid. Do you know what I mean? So it's like think of the planetary grid as a balloon, where the central point of the balloon, where everything could fail. Like everything could be released is the knot at the top. That's what space dock is. So their thing is to take out space dock, which then disables the planetary defense grid around the globe, that then allows them to surround the Earth and pinpoint specific areas of the planet to create, like that. That is why they go after space dock, but that is why it requires the entire fleet to take this station down because of the sheer amount of defenses, shielding, armaments, and everything. Because it's a city in space. It is a huge city in space.
That's what I found difficult though, because obviously in the next episode, like space dock lasts a long time. Like we don't get a passage of time, but it's the fact of it holds out against an entire fleet firing upon it for way longer than believable.
Yeah, but if you look at so in the turbo lift scene where the Excelsior gets destroyed, whose captain, by the way, is Nolan North, Nathan Drake from Uncharted. There's an LCARS image on the back of the turbo lift after the schematic gets wiped off, and you see all the ships. Now you see space dock, and you see space dock is in a ring of shielding, and it's connected to defense nodes throughout the globe that create that shielding. So when that falls, that is the linchpin. Once that falls, everything else falls to the wayside because everything was tied. Everything is distributed via Earth space dock. And it's that's how it. I mean, it could have been explained a little bit better, but again,
it was more like me lacking that kind of technical knowledge for Star Trek and just going, I'm going to ask Goodwill about it.
Unfortunately, I have an ungodly amount of knowledge when it comes to stations and stuff like that.
But it's good though. It's good because it that this is the thing. This is like the fact that you've been able to explain that to me and that the lore is there is what we're wanting. That's all we're requesting from things like Discovery and Starfleet Academy and Section 31. And time again, we're going, no, they don't have the answers. It just happens because, Like,
I mean, even there's stuff like redesigning the space dock, but making it look absolutely believable and like a more modern representation of what we saw. I mean, right there, like, you know, to scale it to, oh yeah, we needed a bigger space dock because we've got ships like the Enterprise F that can't actually get inside of the bloody things, bigger than the Enterprise D by a long shot, and showing like the sheer scale of it, how massive this station is. But it's like a massive planetary grid that we do, because let's not forget, this is not just the home of humanity, it's the capital of the Federation, so of course it's going to be the most heavily defended planet in the Federation, because as everybody says, when Earth falls, the Federation falls. So of course there's going to be that, and it shows that the great power of the Federation, that it takes the entirety of Starfleet to take it down. And when they do eventually take it down, it's after, you know, a good long beating from all of these starships and their concentrated firing on it. And
it's insane what it manages. But that's all of my questions.
Is that it?
I could talk a lot more, but I will not. But
we could gob on about this for hours, because we're just two huge next gen era kids that grew up on this and lived our best lives, and more DS9. That's all I'm going to say. Well, if that's all, that is our review of Vox from season 3 of Picard. I think we did better than the original, which is good. I think we did that. I would say go check it out, but. Anyway,
we'll have to repost it and then sort of see what we came up with, I think.
Exactly. But anyway, normally we would have a challenge. However, next week is my birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Now I did propose something to Synoiz yesterday, and I did get not pushback, but a tone. Which made me realise, which is
rare for me, which is rare.
Because it was like, I said something and he was like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, maybe not. So, because I did say, maybe we should review, for my birthday, maybe we should review A Fistful of Datas as a laugh. And he was like, the tone change. And I've never heard a tone change from Synoiz, but it was like, and I was like, okay, right, moving on. So
I will do it if you want to do it.
No. What I'm gonna do, because I am the captain of this vessel. Look at me, I am the captain now. I am the captain of this vessel. What I think we should do to close off season 3, to close off 2025, we need to review a good episode. We need to review a good episode, unless you want to do Code of Honor.
Oh no, not for your birthday.
We're not going to end it yet.
Birthday.
My life is already bad enough. I don't want that.
I think the problem is, while I do love Code of Honor existing, do you want to re-review Sub Rosa? Of one day we're going to have to do.
Do you want to re-review Sub Rosa?
I think
it's been deleted. Do it again.
Make it stop. But I think maybe let's have a spin, because it's your birthday. Let's have a spin on the good wheel of Trek, and we can gush about the good wheel, and we can have another good episode next week.
Without further ado, computer, take us sexily to the double wheel.
Hello, computer.
Oh shit.
Computer.
Shit. Shit. Damn you, computer!
I need to push myself. No! Oh, God.
Oh, God. What is that? Why? Oh, I know why. It's because Joe left.
Hold on. Can I move it down? Oh, I'm so small. I'm so wee. I'm so wee.
Are you going to get sick? 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 All right. Anyway, let me extend you. Tiny Synoiz. Tynoiz. Tynoiz. It's a noise your neckwear makes. Hang on, let me extend you. This is how the sausage is made, everybody. This is how the sausage is made. Hang on.
There we go. Hey! We're back.
It's because Joe left, and this scene is just like, oh God, I can't handle it.
I was so tiny. I was so teeny tiny.
Tynoiz. Welcome everybody to the double wheel. Let me just check. of Honor. Let me welcome everybody to the Double Wheel of Honor. If this is your first time watching Trekkin' Up North, firstly, welcome on in. Have a nice cup of tea and regret your life choices. In the Double Wheel below is every episode of Star Trek in existence, asterisk, programmed in, and we have distilled them. Science Officer Synoiz has distilled them as he makes dramatic amendments on screen. Dramatic removals on the screen.
I don't think I automatically removed Vox, so there's a possibility we might get Vox again.
We have every episode of Star Trek in existence in the wheel, and we have distilled it down to a selection of good and bad episodes, which throughout this have been choosing based on challenges we get from you beautiful, delectable audience members. Some of them are good, some of them have been bad. Luckily, the last time we had a good episode and we had a good challenge and we passed it and we got Vox. Because it's my birthday next week and I have Captain's prerogative, I've decided that we shall spin on the good wheel, the Double Wheel of Honor, because this will be our final episode of season 4. What? Season 3, sorry. Not season 4. Season 3.
I don't even know. You're keeping track of this.
Well, technically...
I have no idea.
Technically, now it's season 1. But this is the final episode of season 3 next week. So we will spin on the good wheel. We will have some Christmas... I will put up some Christmas decorations in the back, i.e. a little USB tree, to make it festive AF. But what we do, we spin the Double Wheel, and whatever the Double Wheel lands on, we have this episode. And when the Double Wheel stops, we all have to shout at the top of our lungs, Dabo! You all have to say in the chat, Dabo. You all have to put a comment below saying Dabo. You have to open your windows and scream to your neighbours, Dabo. You have to have a little tiny message on a pigeon claw, and then you throw the pigeon at my window, and I unravel the note pigeon from the dead. I unravel the pigeon, and the pigeon goes, "Cool, Dabo." You have to throw bricks at people you see with the words Dabo etched into it. You have to defecate on your neighbour's lawn while going da, because that is what we expect. Not yet, Layla. You are peaking too soon.
Leela's peaked. She's peaked.
She's peaked. That's it. She's spent. She now can't say anything. But yeah, so you have to do that and whatever we review. So what do you hope we review next week as our final episode?
I really hope we get
He's been activated. He's been activated. He's been
assimilated.
No. I knew he was 25. I knew he was 25.
Sorry,
He's been assimilated.
Oof, if only I was 25. I really want the pale moonlight in the pale
moonlight. Ooh.
In the pale moonlight, because it's meant to be one that you will enjoy. Obviously the one that is still in the Double Wheel that I desperately want to talk about is Duet. But I think we would have more fun talking about in the pale moonlight. There we go.
Do you know what I want?
It's something from Enterprise.
No. Take me out to the Hall of Sweet. Take me out to the game. Death to the opposition. We need it.
Is that in the good wheel?
It isn't in the good wheel. I love it. I absolutely love it.
This is what happens when
you don't. I have plans.
Do they involve me surviving them?
Yes, I have a merchandise plan. I have a merchandise plan where we create our own baseball team for the Adequate, and we, as part of the merchandise that's coming, we get Trekking Up North baseball jerseys. I think I'll wear it.
I mean, it's better than an AI merch store.
Everybody who's watching this episode, I want to comment below. What do you think we should call the baseball team for the USS Adequate? What do you think it should be? Like the Adequate Honks? the Geesians? Like what should it be? The Keikos?
There's got to be something.
There's got to be something. Yeah.
What you can do though is tell us it in our Discord. So comment below on YouTube or join our Discord.
Which is below.
trekkingupnorth.com/Discord if you're just listening.
There is also a Discord invite down below that I refresh every week. So please, join our Discord and tell us in the Trekking Up North channel. Like I said, baseball jerseys. They're going to work. They will sell like hotcakes. We will be millionaires by February.
Well, speaking of which, I think we need to spin the wheel.
Oh, no, it's only been 2 hours and 23 minutes. What are you doing? Right. I like the honks.
The honks. I like.
Can you imagine
the
that? Our mascot could be a massive goose with a car horn as a beak.
Isn't there already a thing like from an Untitled Goose Game where there's a little goose with a baseball bat in its mouth? I'm sure.
Choose violence.
Yeah, no, that's it. So there's already stuff that exists, I think.
Right, in 3, 2, 1. I need to take a deep breath.
Is this an episode for your birthday?
Shall I spin again?
You know what? I'm actually going to allow it. I do want. How about we save this one up? So this has been spun.
The last thing I want.
I'll give you another.
The last thing I want on my birthday is to talk about death. All right?
yeah. It's.
You know,
we're spinning again, everyone.
Happy birthday. Mother Troy has PTSD.
Chuck it back outside.
Yeah.
Chuck the pigeon back outside. Bring
Reverse.
back in the Dabo.
Reverse. Bring back the brick. Undefecate on your neighbour's lawn.
Go to your neighbour's house. Climb in through the window. Take the brick back. Get back into his garden, okay?
Oh, God.
And get ready to throw it again.
You know the next one's got to be similitude as well. Another terrifyingly cry-worthy.
Let's just keep spinning until we don't get one about.
Let's just do that. Yeah, let's just rig the wheel. I rigged double wheel. Never.
We've never done this before. We have never actually respun, but we're gonna do it.
It's my birthday. Blow me in 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Imagine if we did it again. Okay. I will take duet. We can talk about duet.
Oh, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. Oh, oh my God, thank God. I thought we were going to get Dark Pages again. I saw it hanging and I was like, no.
But we'll save it. We'll save it for season 4. We will definitely review Dark Pages.
We are ending season 3 with one of Synoiz's most favourite episodes of DS9, Duet. So I am very much looking for, and I can wear a uniform because it fucking fits. I am so looking forward to this. This is such a good episode. Oh, we're going to go longer than 2.5 hours, I think, next week.
Well, luckily we're recording next time because I'm not available next Friday, so we will not be live. Recording it on the Thursday, I believe, right? On your actual birthday?
If you can't do, is there any other day that you can do other than Thursday?
Wednesday.
We can do. I would rather do it Wednesday because Thursday I'm a little bit drunk. But I would like to have an analytical mind for this to go.
So we'll do it. Like, do we want to record it on Wednesday and put it out on Friday, or do we want to do it live on Wednesday? There are no rules. This is our challenge.
I don't know. I think we can do it live on Wednesday. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Do you think we should do it live on Wednesday? On bin collection day of all days, should we do it live?
Is it bin collection day for you as well?
Happy bit. Oh, have you not seen? I've got Manly Mondays. I've got Testicular Tuesdays or Sunday Dinner Tuesdays. Bin collection Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
I can't remember something Friday. I think it was like Feeler Up Friday. No, not Feeler Up Friday. Frisky Friday. Frisky Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday I don't have anything yet. Damn right, Dabble, damn right. And for me and for Lisa too. What
Everyone's got bin days on Wednesdays.
Oh, it's universal. This is how I'm going to make a success at Twitch. I unify everyone's bin days. It's brilliant. We all have a collective pause midstream to bring them in. Right. That means that next Wednesday, live on the Trekkin Up North YouTube channel, the season finale I've just spat. The season finale will be duet. Oh, this is going to be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. So join our Discord, trekkingupnorth.com/Discord. And next Thursday, you will be streaming on Twitch, won't you?
Computer!
Because I will probably be joining you.
Hello, computer. No, that's not that. Hang on. Computer!
Not now, Madeline!
Imagine if they have like an AI called Madeline. Hey, Madeline,
This
where
one
are
won't
you?
go missing in
This one will not be drugged by their parents. Take us back to two-person mode.
I love that I'm the one who's getting told off for cancelling us. And that's way worse.
Don't you forget about me. They certainly
The Daily
did.
Mail will never let you.
Don't you eat that tapas.
So it's a fun thing.
Oh,
but yes, so
we could call our team the McCanns. The adequate McCanns. Right. Less than adequate.
So adequate. Yeah.
Right. Yes. I think it's time we end this show before we get cancelled. Follow us on everything that you see below, as well as our dear friend Joe Dove on Captain's Quadrant. You can follow Synoiz. Are you twitching tonight?
I will be twitching after this. Just at the idea of doing duets. So yes, join me on Twitch in about probably 10 minutes. Not going to take that long.
Twitch.tv/Synoiz, and you can catch me at twitch.tv/Captain Goodwill. I have been Captain Goodwill for the Starship, whatever it's called, Adequate. He has been Science Officer Synoiz, the delectable Geesian from the planet Honk. We have been trekking up north. Take care of each other. Stay safe. We will see you next
time. Leave a comment on this video and share it with your friends.
Share it, like, subscribe, put it everywhere you can find to build a following. But until next time, stay safe, look after each other, live long and prosper. And as ever, Miles.
I hope we die quietly. Miles?